6 is legal notice number 114 of 2025 relating to the affordable housing regulations of 2025 from the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, and the following accompanying documents. 1, the published regulations. 2, notice for public participation. 3, notice for the regulatory impact assessment. 4, regulatory impact assessment. 5, photos. 6, public participation attendance list. 7, the matrix on the comments received from the public participation process. 8, the explanatory memorandum. And 9, the certificate of compliance. 7, Honorable Speaker, is the draft Salaries and Remuneration Commission, Remuneration and Benefits of State and Public Officers, Regulations of 2025, SRC Commission. And 8, the submission of nominees for the National Government Constituency Development Fund committees for the following 5 constituencies: Isiolo South, Lungalunga, Kuria West, Homa Bay Town, and Kitui South. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, is reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2024 and the certificates therein in respect of 1, Kenya Post Office Savings Bank, 2, Kenya National Assurance Company, 2001 Limited, and 3, the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Regional Development. Yes, Honorable Milemba.
Honorable Speaker, I just seek for your indulgence on the issue of the presidential memorandum, because the members may not be aware of the bill that you did take to the president, the one that was sponsored by Baraza. That bill was supposed to give a timeline for the time to pay pensions to the pensioner. And I think the proposal was that 90 days, the time the person has retired, he should be able to get the pension. What is currently obtaining is that teachers, civil servants, and other workers take too long to get pension. Some of them do die.
Honorable Milemba, haven't we passed that order? I would advise that you have a very important point, prosecute it before the committee or marshal 2/3 of the House to vote when it comes.
To moderate it, yes, because we can get a 50-50 out of the entire bill so that nobody loses. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
I'll be appearing before the committee.
Go and prosecute before the committee. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Regional Development, Lochakapong.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 22nd July 2025. Report of the Departmental Committee on Regional Development on its consideration of the Senate amendments to the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bill number 24 of 2023. I thank you.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Lands.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 22nd July 2025. Report of the Departmental Committee on Lands on its consideration of the President's memorandum to the National Land Commission Amendment Bill, National Bill number 43 of 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, before the next order, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's Gallery, Kianjata High School from Oljolorok, Nyandarua, Kituro JSS from Baringo Central, Baringo, and in the public gallery, a Journey to Africa group from the United States of America. You should have a good habit of welcoming visitors. We have Borabu Retired Head Teachers Association from Borabu, Nyamira. and Kipchoi Shokino, JSS from Mosop, Nandi. On my behalf and on behalf of the whole House, we welcome the visitors to the House of Parliament for the proceedings of this afternoon. Honorable Osero from Borabu, you've asked me to give you a minute to welcome your retired teachers.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Somebody is saying those are my age mates. Yeah, those are my age mates. I wish to welcome Borabu retired teachers. These are teachers who've come together in retirement and enjoy life and see the products of their students as it may be. These teachers, Mr. Speaker, I remember when I don't know whether I was in Singapore or one of those East Asia countries. A teacher there is called by the name Leader of the Nation. I think Komboko Milemba you can support. Leader of the Nation. That is what a teacher is. And we are proud to have them here. Feel welcome. And as you travel home, travel with journey masses. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Osero. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, I have 7 listed statements, 2 requests, 5 responses. Question number 1, statement number 1, Mashua Waithaka, member for Kiambu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Labor regarding insurance compensation to the family of the late PC Patrick Gishuru Ryungu. Honorable Speaker, the late Mr. Patrick Gishuru Ryungu, who was a prisons officer of staff number PF 20060-72940/33782, lost his life through a tragic road accident along the Kiambu-Nairobi Highway on 21st August 2021. He was survived by his spouse, Ms. Charity Mlongo Zuma, and their 3 children. Following his demise, the family lodged a compensation claim in accordance with the Works Injury Benefits Act Cap 236 under reference ML/WIBA/DC/02/2021. On 2nd August 2022, the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection approved the said compensation, but to date, the family is yet to receive the money. The inordinate delay has negatively affected the livelihood of the family of the late PC Gishuru, given that the family depended on the deceased for upkeep. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Labor on the following. 1, the status of compensation to the family of the late PC Patrick Gishuru Ryungu, a prisons officer staff number PF 20060-72940/33782, which was launched through claim reference ML/WIBA/DCI/02/2021. 2, the timeline within which the government intends to conclude the process of disbursement of the said compensation to the family of the late PC Patrick Gishuru. And 3, a detailed report on the similar insurance claims, pending payment, and the measures that the government is taking to offset the claims as soon as they are lodged. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Waithaka. Chair Labor and Social Protection, Alice Nganga. Majority Leader, inform the Chair, Labor and Social Protection to bring a response in 2 weeks. Honorable Wandeto Geoffrey from Tetu. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 442C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Labor regarding payment of salaries, terminal dues, and other benefits to former employees of Nyayo T-zones. Honorable Speaker, in 1992, the Nyayo T-zones, which was established under the Office of the President with the aim of promoting rural development through tea farming, transitioned to Nyayo T-zones Corporation. Consequently, approximately 702 laborers who worked for the defunct Nyayo T-zones between 1986 and 1996 in the then Tetu district were not compensated for their labor despite numerous follow-up. The then Member of Parliament for Tetu constituency, the Honorable F.T. Nyamo, raised the matter on 15th June 2011 during the 10th Parliament through ordinary question number 919. Honorable Speaker, following unsatisfactory response, the Departmental Committee on Labor and Social Welfare undertook an inquiry on the matter in the year 2016. The committee found out that the Ministry of Internal Security, which managed the Nyayo T-zones, did not transfer employment records to the Nyayo T-zones Development Corporation, the successor entity, leading to protracted disputes as to whether the dues were to be paid by the Office of the President or the Nyayo T-zones Corporation. Notably, the committee recommended that all the 702 former employees of the Nyayo T-zones Corporation who worked in the then Tetu district be paid their salaries, terminal dues, and other benefits by the Office of the President. Regrettably, Honorable Speaker, the affected employees are yet to be paid. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Labor on the following. A1, a report on the progress made on the settlement of salaries, terminal dues, and other benefits owed to the 702 employees of the Nyayo T-zones who worked in the then Tetu district. 2, steps being taken by the Office of the President to ensure that the former employees receive their dues and the timeline for implementation of the steps. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Wandeto. Labor, Majority Leader, inform the Chair Labor once again to bring the response to Honorable Wandeto and the House in 2 weeks. Responses to statements. Chair, Administration and Internal Security. Yes, Ngeleche?
I'm bringing it on its behalf, Chair.
You are a member of which chair are you addressing?
Administration and Internal Security.
Okay. Is Michael Mushira Oljororok in the House? Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is the statement regarding the disappearance of identity cards from the National Registration Bureau office in Nyandarua West, Oljororok constituency. Honorable Chair, the Member of Parliament for Oljororok constituency, Honorable Michael Mushira, has requested to be appraised of the reported disappearance of ID cards and related documents from the NRB office in Nyandarua West, Oljororok constituency. The Honorable Member particularly sought to be informed on A, the circumstance leading to the loss of the over 2,000 national identity cards and the collection register from the National Registration Office. The status of investigations and finding under the OB number 08-29-5-2025, measures to mitigate the risk of illegal use of the missing identity cards and steps being taken to replace the ID cards free of charge and without delay. I state as follows. The circumstances leading to the loss of over 2,000 national identity cards and the collection register from the NRB office, Honorable Chair, on the morning of 29th May 2025, officers reporting to work at the NRB office in Oljororok discovered that the office had been broken into, although there were no signs of forced entry. Preliminary investigation confirmed the loss of several crucial documents and items, a total of 984 ID cards comprising of 237 second generation IDs and 747 Maisha cards. Issuing workbook 134A register, which records the issuance of forms to applicants for signatures by chiefs and assistant chiefs. Collection register where details of collected IDs cards are locked. Duplicate register where all applicants for replacement ID cards are recorded. 5, one unused registration form 136C, serial number 256616430, which carry the application's biography and biometric data. A digital camera, serial number 630-192004857. And 8, an electrical extension cable and header. The incident severely disrupted operations and raised significant concerns about the potential misuse of the missing items. On the status of investigation and finding under the OB number 08/29/5/2025, Honorable Chair, the matter was officially reported at 9:10 hours.
Order, Ngaleche, address the speaker, not the chair. I don't know which chair you are addressing.
Noted, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the matter was formally reported at 9:10 hours on 29th May 2025 at Oljororok Police Station by OB number 08/29/05/2025. The DCI Nyandarua West Sub-County has taken up the case. Investigative actions taken include recording statement from all the officers stationed at Oljororok National Registration Bureau office, seizure and examination of office keys.
Order. Yes, Honorable Zamzam. What's the point of order? Hold.
Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Ngeleche anazungumza mambo mazuri sana, lakini anazibwa hapa. Hata kuna mazungumzo yanaendelea, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo mimi naomba apewe nafasi aweze kutoa mambo yake kwa nafasi nzuri. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Thank you. The culprit has fled. Go on, Ngeleche.
Asante Mheshimiwa Samsam. I was really straining. I was reading on the status, I was responding on the status of the investigation and finding under OB 8/29/5/2025. And Honorable Speaker, the recording statement from all the officers stationed at Oljororok NRB has been taken. Seizure of examination of office keys and the office mobile phones. These items have since been returned. As such was also conducted at the residence of the officers who last secured the office on the evening prior to the break-in. A normal operation have resumed at the registration office pending the conclusion of the investigation. Measures, response number C, measures to mitigating the risk of illegal use of missing ID cards. Honorable Speaker, to safeguard public interest and national security, the Nyandarua West National Registration Bureau Office has instituted a register to record all reports made by the affected applicants. For each case, the serial number of the missing ID card, the applicant's name, and the type of the applications are captured. This information is forwarded to NRB headquarters to prompt action, including blacklisting of the affected ID serial numbers. Further, Honorable Speaker, there is an ongoing public outreach exercise led by the Deputy Commissioner in collaboration with the Registrar, urging all the affected individuals to report to the office. These sensitization efforts are being conducted through public barazas and other local platforms. Response number D, Honorable Speaker, the steps being taken to replace the ID cards free of charge and without delay. Honorable Speaker, the NRB headquarters has put in place measures to fast-track the replacement of the lost identity cards at no cost to the affected individuals. Applicants are being assisted to reapply through the Nyandarua West Registration Office, which submits their applications accompanied by cover letters directly to the NRB headquarters to expedite the process. Honorable Speaker, I submit. This is a statement by Honorable CS for Cabinet, for Interior and National Security. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sorry.
Thank you, Honorable Mushira. Order, members. The conversations are too loud. Will every member on their feet take seats? Order. Members on their feet, take your seats. You are causing a lot of disorder in the House. Yes, Honorable Mushira.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm contented with the statement, and indeed I can confirm that the replacement of the lost IDs is happening at no cost to the beneficiary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next, Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. Where's the chair? Is anybody from that committee available to make a response to Honorable Mashua Waithaka? Yes, Kandie, you are a member of the committee?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
You have a response?
No, Honorable Speaker. I don't have any response, but I will convey the message to the chairman.
There is nothing to convey. Today was a response day. So you are not going to convey anything.
Okay, let me look for the chairman immediately.
You better do that, yes. Honorable Waithaka, you hold in case he comes in. Give Honorable Waithaka the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to say that you asked that we get a response when we came back from recess, which is today. I'd like to report, Mr. Speaker, that the family is in great distress. And I was thinking that because the person who disappeared in the United States of America, we were hoping that since the United States has a very good system of monitoring people, that by now we would have gotten a response. So, Mr. Speaker, I would urge that we get a response in the shortest possible time so that the family can know the fate of their father.
Thank you, Honorable Waithaka. Kandie, inform your chairperson that this response will be released tomorrow morning. Make sure he's here to give a response. Response to Ekwam Nabwin, Turkana North. Is Nabwin in the house? Is Nabwin in the house? He's not. Committee chair. Yes. This one, the committee chair is not there. The questioner is not there. So we leave it in limbo. They'll seek in the table office to be relisted at an appropriate time. Next, yes, Millie?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance. Mr. Speaker, as you can see, I'm seated by the tallest man in this parliament, Honorable Adipo Kwame of Karachuonyo. Mr. Speaker, I know you had indicated earlier when you had the House business that will raise a moment to eulogize two members, former members of parliament who are passed. And Honorable Adipo Kwame has told me that you have agreed that Honorable Phoebe issue might be brought tomorrow. Nonetheless, as a member of parliament, our first call and first stop is parliament. Mr. Speaker, would I be in order to request that even as you are waiting to eulogize them, because this is home for most of us, would it just be in order for us to stand and observe a minute of silence for two of our members, and they are women,
Order, Millie.
before we can actually even
Order.
contribute?
Why do you want to take the winds out of the sails? I had agreed with the member of parliament for Karachonyo and the member of parliament for West Mugirango, who saw me. We've lost two former members. There are honorable members first, then women second. Honorable Phoebe Asio and the Honorable Catherine Nyamato, with whom I served in the 7th Parliament. We will give an opportunity tomorrow because Mogaka was ready, Okwame was not ready with his statement, and I accommodated him that he can present the statement tomorrow. I'll give you and many others who want to eulogize the two great women leaders tomorrow, and we'll give them a befitting moment of silence tomorrow. The next is lands. Is the chair lands in the house? Yes, you are, Honorable Nyamoko. Samuel Arama is in the house? Samuel Arama? Honorable Nyamoka, I know the response belongs to the House, but to be fair to the member who saw the statement, in case he has supplementary questions, I direct that the matter be put on the order paper on Thursday this week. Next, transport and infrastructure. Is the chair in the House? GK, you are. Honorable Kainan is in the house. Okay, go ahead and respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on Wednesday, 16th April 2025, the member for Eldas constituency, the Honorable Dr. Eden Kenan, MP, requested for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the progress made in tarmacking of Wajir, Griftu, Eldas, Bumna, Bute, Moyale, Ethiopia, that is A14 International Track Road. The Honorable Kenan in the statement indicated that the Wajir, that the said route has the potential to unlock transformative potential, which includes reducing logistics costs for business, strengthening supply chain resilience, and fostering regional development. Such strategic investments not only bridge isolated communities to national and continental markets, but also positions northern Kenya as a gateway for Pan-African trade, aligning with the vision of the African Continental Free Trade Area vision of seamless continental connectivity. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Kenan therefore sought to, among other things, establish, 1, the current status of funding, planning, and implementation of the tarmacking of the said road managed by KENHA, including specific timelines for its commencement. 2, plans put in place to fund this project, particularly under the Horn of Africa Gateway Project or other development initiatives, and details of these funding commitments. And 3, measures in place to fast-track the tarmacking of this critical corridor to ensure its timely completion and maximize its economic and regional integration benefits. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a written response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport on 14 May 2025, which I now wish to make. Number one, regarding the current status of funding, planning, and implementation of this road, including specific timelines for its commencement, the ministry submitted that the tarmacking has not commenced and that KENHA is currently undertaking detailed design for its upgrading to bitumen standards, and the design is expected to be completed in December this year. Number two, the ministry submitted that construction shall commence once design is complete and funds for the works are made available. Three, Honorable Speaker, the contractor for the routine maintenance and sport improvement works has already been selected and has been on the ground for the past 1 month, undertaking preparatory and initial maintenance activities along the design sections. These works cover the following critical road segments. 1, Wajir to Griftu, 2, Griftu to Elders, 3, Elders to Buna, 4, Buna to Dabel, 5, Dabel to Moyale. Number 4, regarding the plans put in place to fund this project, particularly under the Horn of Africa Gateway Project or other development initiative, and details of these funding commitments, the ministry submitted that the agency shall seek funds for the construction of the road once design is complete and a cost estimate is established. There are currently no funding commitments in place for the road. And number 5, regarding the measures in place to fast-track the tarmacking of this critical corridor, the ministry submitted that KENHA is undertaking the ongoing design to define the scope of improvements necessary and establish a cost estimate which will be used to seek funds. Honorable Speaker, thank you, and I submit.
Kainan.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sure from where you sit, you must be very dissatisfied with this answer. This answer is half a paragraph.
The Speaker is not a participant.
I'm sure the Speaker also is a human being, and as a person who has used that road, in your earlier life as a lawyer, you must be familiar with that particular road. That road, Mr. Speaker, there was an engagement between the Kenyan government and the Ethiopian government in the early 70s, Mr. Speaker, when Mr. Kibaki was the Minister for Finance under the leadership of the late Haile Selassie and under the leadership of the late President Kenyatta. Mr. Speaker, this answer on the face of it, my good friend, Mr. Speaker, could you please ask the members to consult in low tones?
Members, reduce loud consultations.
Mr. Speaker, this answer has not attempted, and I'm sure Chairman GK is familiar with this because he comes from a region which has a lot of tarmac roads, Mr. Speaker, a region that has been privileged, a region that is lucky.
Honorable Barto, can you tell those members gravitating around you to go and take their seats? Go on.
Mr. Speaker, I was just saying, maybe the Honorable GK, coming from a region that is well taken care of in terms of road infrastructure, cannot imagine a road linking Kenya to Addis. From all the way from Addis to Moyale to Wajir, has been at the planning stage since 1974, Mr. Speaker. I'm sure, I don't know whether Mr. GK was born then. From 1974 to date, Mr. Speaker, is over 50 years. We are still planning. And yet, our number one foreign policy, Mr. Speaker, is economic diplomacy. Ethiopia has a population of over 150 million people. If we cannot plan for that road, Mr. Speaker, meaning therefore, and we have concentrated all our road infrastructure to a region just here, Mr. Speaker, meaning we have become an inward-looking nation, Mr. Speaker. Isn't it the high time that we declare this answer, Mr. Speaker, as a not answer at all, and the Honorable GK to go back to the ministry and get an answer that really attempts to address this historical problem, Mr. Speaker, because it says, Mr. Speaker, you look at it, this answer, I don't know who wrote this. I'm sure the Honorable Chirchir did not go through this. If indeed he did, and I know he's very sympathetic to our region, he will have drafted a different answer. Because what I wanted is to find out whether there is any planning. Even the statement on planning is contradictory. One says it's been planned, the other one says the planning will be ready by 2025, Mr. Speaker. When you plan for something, then there must be the next stage. Mr. Speaker, will I be right to ask the chairman to go back and get a satisfactory answer that will not only address the needs of the people of Wajir, Marsabit, but will also link us to that critical country called Ethiopia, which is a neighbor, which is a highly potential trade area, Mr. Speaker, for our country. Mr. Speaker, the second bit, Mr. Speaker, on this, one of the reasons, Mr. Speaker, why we decided to have many different agencies under the road sector, in particular Kenya and Kera and Kura, is to address specialized needs of the people of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is the high time that Kenya also, the leadership of Kenya, reflect and put into perspective the needs of that particular region and request the chairman to go back to these people and ensure that this road gets adequate funding immediately. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman, is it true that you have brought no answer? Give the chairman.
Honorable Speaker, I empathize with my colleague, Honorable Kenan, and I really want to assure him that it's in the interest of my committee that this road be tarmacked. But Honorable Speaker, I also want to request my colleague, my senior, Honorable Kenan, to also consider that the ministry has made a commitment in writing that they will have completed the design work by end of this year. And number two, the ministry has indicated that there is some ongoing work happening on this road, and we want to believe that what they have indicated here is what is happening, and they will keep the timelines as indicated. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think listening to this comment or the answer given by the chair, he has not given any answer. That road, I share that road, at least 65 kilometers of that road in my constituency. And I also want to inform the House that when it rains, the MP for Elders cannot get to his constituency. The MP for Mandera North, Wajir North, cannot get to his constituency just because of the poor state of that road. I think we should not be talking about we are planning. Let's take a much more affirmative action to help the people of Wajir to be connected to the world, to the only tarmac road in the north, so that they can also enjoy what other people have been enjoying. It actually, by making that road at bitumen standard, you are actually opening up the business in that area. Wajir was a very serious capital center for northern Kenya during the colonial days. And it was well connected to Moyale. We cannot continue to wait for plans to be done. And this work which the chairman said that some work is being done, there is no work which has been done. The chairman, if you are not listening, there is no work which has been done, and we need to be
made your point. Farah.
Mr. Speaker, The answer by the chairman says that design is being undertaken. 62 years after independence, a priority road, and you say the design is being undertaken. Mr. Chairman, when will this design be complete? Can you give us a time frame on when the design is going to be complete so that we can have a tentative understanding of when the funding can be sourced? Because without the design, the funding cannot be sought. Thank you. And when will also the design for Garissa, Dadaab, Liboi, Harhar Road be ready too?
Sane. Is there fumbling with the gadget?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm equally not happy, or rather not satisfied with the response of the committee. I'm a member of that committee. Mr. Speaker, it all talks to the level of marginalization. This road traverses my constituency, 60 to 70% of this road. 62 years of independence. We don't have substantive answers. As we speak, this road is impassable. Many other roads in the constituency are impassable, not motorable at all. I have made various requests to make the committee visit this road so that they can actualize and do some ground truthing. My request is that this House or the chair speaks an affirmative command on this committee, Mr. Speaker, which I belong to, that we do visit these roads so that we can come up with substantive answers. Thank you.
Chair Rhodes.
Honorable Speaker, listening to my colleagues and the interest they have to ensure that this road is tarmacked, we will invite the DG, I believe now the acting DG, Kenha, and the minister to come and explain to the committee the measures that they are undertaking to ensure that this road is tarmacked. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Kainan, very last.
Mr. Speaker, can the chairman assure this House before the end of the current regime, before the end of this term, the end of this current regime might be 2032, before the end of this current term, this particular road will be tarmacked. Can you assure the House? And two, taking into account that, Chairman, you preside over a very important committee. Can you also assure this House that the planning will be fast-tracked so it does not wait for the end of this year and the commencement of the construction starts immediately?
Since you're going to have the, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since you're going to have the DG and the Minister, the Cabinet Secretary, most likely available for this, could you do the totality of Northern Kenya? Because the road I talked to you about, the Madogo, Garissa, Dadaab, Liboi, Harhar Road, the design has already been awarded to a company. It's been ongoing now for the last 7-8 months. We expected by more than 7 months. By now it will be ready. When will that design also be ready so that the funding can be sourced? In addition to the road that's just been mentioned by the Honorable Kainan, which is equally very, very important. Thank you.
To Honorable Farah, I don't think I want to talk about that other road. You will need to ask a question the same way Honorable Kenan has done, and I will respond. I also want to say, Honorable Speaker, that I love the way the regional members of the members of Parliament from this region are united in pushing for their project, for this particular project, another project, and we will not disappoint you as a committee that I had. Honorable Speaker, to Honorable Kenan, I don't think I have the powers to assure the House. The only thing I can do is confirm that together with my colleagues in the Transport Committee, we will do our best to support the tarmacking of this road. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's gallery Changondu Secondary School from Booni Makueni. In the public gallery, we have Musibao Primary School from Kinangop, Nyandarua, Gatwamba JSS from Kieni, Nyeri, Sekenani Primary School from Narok West, Narok, Ngumo Boys from Kibwesi West, Makueni, and Teret Secondary School from Njoro, Nakuru. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Next order. Hold. Yes, Jared.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity, and let me join you in welcoming our colleagues back from recess. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you specifically for walking this House the journey on reclassification of hardship areas. And through your efforts, Honorable Speaker, you did invite the Prime Cabinet Secretary before this House, who took us through the journey of new reclassification of hardship areas, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when the Prime Cabinet Secretary presented here, he did mention the new areas that were yet to be gazetted, but had been identified by the government for gazettement, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, a week ago, I read that that process has since been suspended. They have suspended gazettement of areas that have already been identified by the government to be hardship areas, Honorable Speaker. Now, the reason that has been advanced is that those who are benefiting and who are to be removed from the scheme have since made noises to the effect that they are not ready to lose, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I've got absolutely no problem people retaining what they are getting. But then what is the fate of those who are identified as new beneficiaries by government, Honorable Speaker? And you are not new to this process because you have always stood with us in this journey, Honorable Speaker. Nyando constituency was part of the areas that were newly identified for gazettement. And the expectation out there was that by the end of July, in the new financial year, they were going to have varied pay slips, Honorable Speaker. Now, with this information, it has dampened the spirits of teachers particularly, together with those who serve in the national government, or public servants for that matter, that they are now not very keen to what this government talks about, Honorable Speaker. But when the government states an issue, much less by a Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Speaker, it has to be implemented. You cannot walk back on a promise that has been made to people who absolutely need this help, Honorable Speaker. So I need your direction.
Honorable Jared Okello, you are prosecuting an argument based on something you read somewhere. Yes. There has been no official communication to that effect. So you probably are flogging a dead horse. Yes. Why can't you, if you need better clarity, frame another request? And I see the majority leader is here, then I can direct him to take an appropriate moment and respond. Because you are saying you read somewhere. Yes. And you are using that as a basis of your authority, contrary to your standing orders. Yes. Yes.
Honorable Speaker, whereas I read it in the mainstream media, which has a degree of authenticity, I take your direction as to put probably a supplementary question on this matter so that the leadership of the House can give
Go ahead and
the
do
right
so.
answers.
I'll approve for you to bring it to the floor.
I'll do that right away, Honorable Speaker, and I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Milemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this chance. On the same matter of hardship allowance, I think the Honorable Jared forgets one thing which I thought should have been fundamental for him to raise. When the Prime Cabinet Secretary was here, the Speaker made a ruling, and I think, Honorable Speaker, I should draw your attention to the ruling that you made. And it was after Honorable Milley spoke about policy changing a law or an act. And you ruled that before the matter is handled beyond a certain stage, it's brought back to the House. So I think that's what Honorable Jared should follow, and I'm also following the same, because I'm a keen and thorough follower of the fact that no teacher who has been getting hardship allowance should lose his place, but also keen that if new places are there, let them be included. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You've just fallen into the same trap as Okello, because you are buttressing something that is based on rumor. And Standing Order 87 is very clear: except as the Speaker may otherwise allow, it shall be out of order for a member to refer to an extract from print or electronic media as an authority in the member's speech. So he used a fault authority, and you are using the same fault authority as a basis of your argument. Let him bring, or you bring, I know you are a trade unionist, for teachers who are mostly affected by, yes, that is correct. Jared Okello is pursuing the rights of the people he represents using rumors from the media. And that's what I'm saying should not be the case. So when he files, or you file, an additional request, I will allow it to be prosecuted. Next order.
Order number 8, motion. Consideration of the performance audit report on the provision of services to persons with disability by the National Council for Persons with Disability. Question to be put.
Order, members on their feet, take your seats. DK, today you are extremely active. Honorable members, we will now put the question at order number 8, which is that this House adopts the report of the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture on its consideration of the performance audit report by the Auditor General on the provision of services to persons with disabilities by the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 30th July 2024. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 9, motion. Consideration of the 5th report on the financial statement for NGCDF accounts for 6 constituencies in Busia County.
Chairperson, Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee, Honorable Mulyungi, PS Emeritus.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the 5th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its examination of the audited financial statements for the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for 6 constituencies in Busia County for the financial years 2013-14 2014/15.
Order, Honorable Mulyungi, read the motion as framed on the order paper. I beg to move the following motion, then read the motion as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that
I beg to move the following motion.
I
Then
beg to
you
move-
read the motion as it's framed on the order paper.
Oh, sorry.
You don't have the order paper?
I've speaked it.
Okay.
I have it.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the following motion. Consideration of the fifth report of the financial statements for the NGCDF accounts for 6 constituencies in Busia County. Mr. Speaker.
Order, Honorable Mulyungi, you are a seasoned member. I beg to move the following motion, then read the motion as it is, word for word.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Millie, can you help your colleague behind you?
No, I have it now.
Yes.
I have it now.
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Speaker, I beg to move the following motion. That this House adopts the fifth report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the National Government Constituency Development Fund for 6 constituencies in Busia County, being Teso South, Matayos, Nambale, Funyula, Teso North, and the Butula constituencies for the financial years 2013-2014, 2014-2015, 2015-2016, 2016-2017, 2017-2018, 2018-2019, 2019-2020, 2020-2021, and the 2021-2022 laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 10th of April, 2025.
Excellent. Now you can use your notes to move in the manner you wish.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that, Honorable Speaker, I think my clerk did the wrong notes. Honorable Speaker, the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee is established pursuant to National Standing Order number 205B and is responsible for the examination of the reports of the Auditor General on the accounts of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund. The National Government Constituency Action Fund, GAF, and the respective governing boards. This is to ensure transparency, efficiency, and effectiveness of utilization of public resources. Honorable Speaker, the committee examined a total of 54 reports of the Auditor General for Teso South, Matayos, Nambale, Funyula, Teso North, and the Mbutula constituencies, covering 9 financial years for 2013-14 to 2021-2022. The observations, findings, and recommendations are contained in the committee report now before the House. The committee inherited a backlog of over 4,000 audit reports for the financial year 2013-2014 for NGCDF. Given that each of the 290 constituencies is audited independently, the committee initially reviewed financial statements for 3 years concurrently per county. Later, we resolved to examine all the available reports up to the most recent current year. Honorable Speaker, the Constituency Development Fund, first enacted in 2003 and later realigned through the NGCDF Act 2015, has remained a critical vehicle supporting grassroots development in constituencies through direct funding of local projects, impacting education, infrastructure, and the local institutions positively. The fund has had a significant impact on the lives of the people of Busia County through various infrastructure and social development projects, including the construction and renovation of schools, purchase of land for public institutions, and supporting for security and other initiatives. A highlight of some of the projects undertaken in Busia County constituencies examined include: number one, in Teso South constituency, the fund supported the construction of a two-story administration and tuition block at Busia Township Primary School. In Matayos constituency, a major project undertaken was the construction of an administration block at Mundinga Secondary School. In Nambale constituency, the fund was used to purchase land for expansion of Quilare Secondary School and Mungasi TTI. In Funyula constituency, the fund supported drilling of a bore at Munandi Primary School, providing the much needed water to the community. In Teso North constituency, the fund financed the construction of Kocholia KMTC, including its administration block, lecture halls, and laboratories. In Butula constituency, the fund was used to construct Burinda Chiefs Camp, which now serves as the office of the Marachi West Assistant County Commissioner. Honorable Speaker, upon examination of the Auditor General's reports for the 6 constituencies, the committee made the following general observations and recommendations. On outstanding land issues, the committee observed that during the period under review, all 6 constituencies in Busia County had outstanding land issues, including transfer, succession, acquisition of title deeds for land purchased using the fund, relating to procurement done over 10 years ago with no title deeds. The committee therefore recommends that the NGCDF board, in conjunction with the NGCDF committees, should within 3 months upon adoption of this report ensure that fund account managers are guided on the succession and the land transfer processes to ensure title deeds for their respective institutions, and institutions are listed as beneficiaries where appropriate on succession matters. The board should also establish a clear policy on the procedure for buying land to ensure due diligence is done, ensuring compliance with Section 11(1)(k) of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Regulations 2016, which mandates verification and authentication of ownership documents with relevant government agencies. On pending, ongoing, and stored projects, the committee observed that a critical cause of stored projects was partial allocation of funds and the late exchequer releases by the Treasury. The committee recommends that NGCDF board should discourage partial allocation of funds and ensure projects are completed within 2 financial years. The board should also develop a realistic policy framework in consultation with relevant government departments for costing projects to ensure estimates are accurate to prevent stalling of projects. Honorable Speaker, on audit, coordination, and documentation, the committee noted that there is inadequate coordination between fund account managers and the Office of the Auditor General, particularly in responding to audit queries, and are failing the necessary documents for audit review in a timely manner. The committee recommends that NGCDF board issues administrative guidelines to ensure fund account managers maintain original project files at the NGCDF office to ensure they are available for audit. Further, constituency committees should employ qualified accountants to strengthen financial management. Honorable Speaker, on non-compliance with procurement laws, the committee observed that management and the project management committees, some of them failed to comply with the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. The committee recommends that the NGCDF board, in consultation with the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, conducts continuous capacity building for all fund account managers and PMCs on procurement laws and regulations. On allocation of emergency funds, the committee observed instances where funds were allocated for non-emergency purposes. The committee recommends strict adherence to Section 6.2 and 813 of the NGCDF Act 2015, which outlines the conditions for allocation and use of emergency funds. Finally, Honorable Speaker, on co-funding of projects, the committee observed that buses were being purchased through hire purchase and asset financing, which is contrary to the specified procurement methods and the board's directive on purchase of buses on an one-off basis. The committee recommends that NGCDF board enforce its guidelines on the purchase of school buses where co-funding is necessary. Evidence and availability of funds from the partner institutions should be provided before the board's approval. Honorable Speaker, the committee recommendations in this report are aimed at enhancing accountability, transparency, and efficiency in the management of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund in Busia and the development outcomes in our constituencies throughout the country for oversight by the NGCDF. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request Honorable Muthoni Kiara to second the motion. I thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker.
You can call the seconder, but before that, allow me to recognize the presence of the following schools which are seated in the public gallery. Harmony Hills Academy from Naivasha constituency, Nakuru County. The Link Group from Mumias constituency, Kakamega County. And Nyahururu Highway JSS from Daragwa constituency in Nyandarua County. And Kiambatha Primary School from Gishugu constituency in Kirinyaga County. And seated in the Speaker's gallery, there is Arya School Kisumu from Kisumu Central constituency, Kisumu County. On behalf of the substantive Speaker and the National Assembly, we welcome you to Parliament. Thank you. You may proceed. Who's the seconder?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the decentralized committee did interrogate and look at the audited reports of Teso South, Matthias, Nambari, Funyula, Teso North, and Butura constituencies in Busia County. Honorable Speaker, the committee were examining the audited accounts, invited both current and former FAD account managers, as well as the Chief Executive Officer of the NGCDF board to clarify issues raised by the Auditor General. The committee made observations and recommendations for the respective constituencies based on the nature of the audited issues raised. Honorable Speaker, it is very evident that a majority of the issues that were raised did cut across all the constituencies, Honorable Madam Speaker. And one of the major issues that was raised is the issue of land, which has been mentioned, Honorable Speaker, and the issue of land has become very emotive in almost all the constituencies where land is purchased, but eventually it lacks documentation. Honorable Speaker, with this, Honorable Speaker, widespread anomaly, the NGCDF board has been advised to fast track on the sale documents and ensure that all land purchased as required documents. Honorable Speaker, matters of great concern is failure of the fund managers to submit the necessary documents for audit review at the time of the audit. The fund account managers are well trained, but they know all the documents that they are supposed to availed during the time of audit, but Honorable Speaker, more often than not, these documents are not availed. Further, Honorable Madam Speaker, the committees recommended that all the PMCs, the project managers, they are well trained and well versed on their law as the PMCs at the constituency level. Honorable Speaker, to prioritize proper audits, Honorable Speaker, the committee recommended that all the documents be availed at the time of audit. The committee further argues improved coordination between the Office of the Auditor General and the offices of the fund account managers. Honorable Speaker, the issue of stored and ongoing projects and pending projects which are left halfway is an issue that is very critical in proper accounting and at the same time prudent use of public resources. Honorable Speaker, the committee did recommend that for future, let the fund account managers allocate money sufficient to complete all the ongoing projects. Honorable Speaker, the NGCDF continues to be a critical vehicle for grassroots development. The implementation of the committee's recommendation as contained in this report will go a long way in ensuring that there is in the management and effectiveness of this very critical fund. It is worth noting, Honorable Madam Speaker, that among the tangible projects that are physically visible in our country across all constituencies are projects which are implemented using the NGCDF fund. Honorable Speaker, it is therefore very, very necessary that we ask all the MPs to do proper oversighting so that they can ensure that service delivery is timely to strengthen the accountability of this fund. Honorable Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the House adopts the 5th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for 6 constituencies in Busia County, being Teso South, Matayos, Nambale, Funyula, Teso North, and Butula constituencies for the financial years 2013-2014, financial year 2014-2015, financial year 2015-2016, financial year 2016-2017, financial year 2017-2018, financial year 2018-2019, financial year 2019-2020, financial year 2020-2021, and financial year 2021-2022, laid on the table of this House on Thursday, 10th April 2025. Honorable Millie, you want to contribute before I put the question?
Madam Speaker, I presume you have proposed. Thank you. Madam Speaker, let me thank you for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the committee for that report in relation to NGCDF utilization in the constituencies in Busia County. Madam Speaker, I do note that the committee has concentrated especially on policy issues that will enhance efficiency and efficacy in delivery. Madam Speaker, I know that we have, when we are proposing amendments to the Constitution, we spoke to this issue. Some of us spoke, some didn't have an opportunity to speak. But I want to say, Madam Speaker, that indeed one of the things that Kenya needs to understand is that political theory informs development. And in Africa, we adopted certain political theories from the West, and some of them are not necessarily the right size or the right fit. We have a country that is very ethnicized. We have 42 tribes. I think now there are 44 tribes. And Madam Speaker, with the nature of our politics, sometimes you discover that if you come from opposition areas like the areas where some of us come from, then what it means is that you can spend over 40 years without seeing any national government fund. The only fund that we know that is guaranteed, especially in the sector of education and security, is the NGCDF fund. And I want to clarify, Madam Speaker, that even if the NGCDF fund were to be stopped from going to the constituencies, it will not go to the counties, because NGCDF funds are not devolved funds. They are funds, they are part of the national government fund. So even if the centralized system that the national government has adopted were to be withdrawn so that we move away from decentralization, then it means that decision will solely be made at the national level. But right now, we have our own people making those decisions at the village levels through public participation. People are able to say what their needs are, and the MP is able to oversight and intervene where there is unfairness. Madam Speaker, I just wanted to raise one issue that this committee has talked to. I agree with them over the issue of land, that whenever we are doing work as CDF, as a national government, that land needs to have title. The biggest primary school in my constituency, which is called Usare, public primary school, when I joined as a member of parliament, there was a court order that the school be sold and given back to the original owner. And it's the biggest public primary school. And it was a court order. Why? Because when the land was being transferred, or when the person was donating, they never gave back, they never gave the title deed, or there was no transfer. And because of that, there are some people who become smart, their grandfathers or their fathers donate land. And after they have died, they turn and now want to claim that land, especially where land has appreciated in cost. Madam Speaker, one of the things I want to urge the committee to reconsider is the issue that they have said that all projects must be delivered within the same financial year. Madam Speaker, if that were the situation, then Suba North would not have a KMTC, or Kenya Medical Training College. Suba North would not have a TTI. Suba North would not have a police divisional headquarters. Suba North would not have another sub-county headquarters. All projects that are more than 50 million each. Madam Speaker, it has been possible for Suba North to do that because of incremental allocation of resources. And those are the resources. If you go to Aondo in Suba North, which was a very quiet sleeping village, right now it's a buzz with students. People are building a structure so that students can live in, because there's not much accommodation. There are women who are supplying food to the institution. Economic activities are an all-time high. And Madam Speaker, when you have big institutions like that, it just changes the face of a place. And now wherever I go in Suba North, every village I go, they're asking for a TTI or a KMTC. Why? Because they've seen how it has potential to just change the economic fortunes. Because the students will come from way beyond Suba North. We have students who are coming even from Mombasa to change the local economy. So I would want to urge the committee, the Special Funds Committee, to consider working with the board that there are special circumstances that may require that funds are allocated piecemeal. Because if you are talking about equity, for instance, and the CDF funds, it's not as much as people usually assume it is, because there are statutory allocations. Madam Speaker, if, for instance, one project worth 50 million the money was put in one financial year, it means in that year, other than bursary, there will be no other project that will be done. So I would want to encourage the committee to reconsider that. There are improvements that are very good, like the one on land that there is need for title. But on this one, because we want, there are areas where for development to reach, it takes a while. I know our counties are doing a lot, but they don't have the mandate to build schools or to do, security installations. So for us to have a change in our constituencies, if you want legacy projects, sorry, I've seen, it's no longer Madam Speaker, it's now Mr. Speaker, lest I am accused of making you something that Mr. Speaker doesn't like. We know him is a proponent of something which I do not want to mention, one as a Christian and one as a human rights activist, which puts me right in the middle of what you don't like. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that based on that, I would want to encourage the committee to have a special attention on special projects. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the other issue that I'd want to speak to is the issue of, because as MPs we do oversight, and sometimes when you do oversight, you discover that there are people, like maybe in a past constituency, you discover that maybe a fund account manager who is employed at the national level may have not used the funds in the manner that they have done, that they were meant to. Maybe they've used overspent in one thing as against another. They should be held personally responsible, Mr. Speaker. And where such managers are willing to, I would want to encourage the board to make sure that they carry through and not to shield people who may not necessarily have stolen, but have gone against, like for instance, if you have funds for building a class and the money is used in monitoring and evaluation instead, that takes away, the accounts from what was actually it was intended for, which is not in the law, because the law is very clear. The NGCDF Act is very clear in the way the funds should be spent. Otherwise, I support the committee and thank them for the good work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. The Honorable Gitonga Murugara, you want to speak to this? Certainly not interested. The Honorable Zamzam Chimba.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi niweze kupongeza kamati ambayo inashughulikia masala ya NGCDF na ngafu. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni dhahiri kuwa kamati ambayo inashughulikia mambo haya ya kuweza kupeleka maendeleo kule mashinani inafanya kazi nzuri sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Na mimi nilikuwa napenda sana kuzungumzia ili Wakenya waelewe. Wajua vita vimekuwa vingi hapa, wanalaumu wabunge, si wabunge ambao wanafanya, kuna kamati ambayo inasimamia haya maendeleo. Hata katika ngafu, sisi kina mama 47 groups zikisha apply ile pesa ya ngafu kwa katika board, wao wanatuletea sisi check, tunaweza kupeleka tu Mheshimiwa Spika. Lakini yote ni tisa kuwa hizi funds zimeweza kusaidia uchumi wa taifa, ikizingatiwa kuwa sehemu kubwa ya taifa kama sisi tulikuwa katika upinzani muda mrefu, ilikuwa tupati yale matunda mengine Mheshimiwa Spika. Ilikuwa tunategemea hii kidogo ambayo inakuja katika mfuko wa ngafu ndo tuweze kuingia tuangalie maendeleo gani tunaweza kufanya Mheshimiwa Spika. Ukiangalia Mombasa nimeweza kujenga kutumia ngafu ile GBV center ambayo ndio kubwa Kenya nzima. na ni hiyo hiyo ngafu ambayo inaweza kusaidia kina mama kule mashinani, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo na mimi pia ningeweza kusema kamati hii iangalie kina mama pia tutamani kujenga sehemu, lakini kupata ile hatimiliki inakuwa shida. Kwa hiyo kama kuna namna ambayo wanaweza kutuita pia sisi kina mama 47 tukakaa chini tukajua kamati inaweza kutusaidia namna gani, pia nitaweza kushukuru Mheshimiwa Spika. Na kama alivyosema mtangulizi wangu, yani maendeleo kwenda mashinani ni kuwezesha ile NGCDF iweze kushika mpaka kule chini kama ilivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, wala wasiweze kupokonywa Mheshimiwa Spika. Itakuwa wabunge nao pia wanaangaliwa kila sehemu, anaambiwa hapa hakuna shule, hapa hakuna ofisi za maskari, hapa hakuna ofisi ya chief. Unapata hawa waheshimiwa wabunge ndio wameweza kuangalia oversight kuhakikisha kuwa haya maendeleo yanafika mashinani Mheshimiwa Spika. Na mimi napenda kusema waachiwe hii mambo ya CDF, waweze oversight wakiangalia kunaenda namna gani bila kupokonywa wala kupelekwa sehemu nyingine. Na tumeangalia Mheshimiwa Spika, kule chini hawa ndugu zetu magavana wamekuwa na pesa tena nyingi sana, lakini huwezi kufeel maendeleo yao kama vile unavyofeel maendeleo ambayo yanasimamiwa na mbunge Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo mimi napigia upato hii kamati na nasema wabunge waendelee kuwa supported ili waweze kuangalia miradi inayohusika na jamii kule chini, manake wao ndo ambao wanasimamia jamii, walipigiwa kura waje bunge waje kuangalia ni mambo gani wanaweza kusaidia jamii. Na Kenya ielewe kuwa hizi pesa hazishikwi na mbunge, hakuna mahali popote anaweka signature. Mbunge yeye ana oversight tu kuhakikisha yale maendeleo ambao wananchi wamemuomba, na ameenda kwenye vikao kuangalia kuwa wananchi wanataka hili na lile liwe imetimika na wao wameweza kupata maendeleo. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
The Honorable Dr. James Nyikal, the Chair, Departmental Committee on Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the report of the committee. Mr. Speaker, I've not seen a single fund that the people have access to, like the CDF fund. Mr. Speaker, I've not seen a single fund which has as low overhead cost as the CDF fund. Mr. Speaker, I've not seen a single fund which gives equity as this fund. This is the fund that all the 290 constituencies are certain they will get it, and they get it. And Mr. Speaker, this is a fund where the people have access and control. People may not realize, but even the fund manager does not eventually control the payment out of the CDF fund. Once the money goes to the constituency and it is given to the project management committees, the fund manager is just one of the signatories. In fact, the chair of the project management committee, which is often an ordinary member of the community who happens to be the chair of a school, is the chair of that committee. And the secretary of the head of the institution, even at a primary school level, is the secretary. And the fund manager is just a signatory. I don't think there's any other fund that actually is controlled by the people like the CDF fund. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this is a fund that I think as a country we must support, not just as parliament, but actually as a country. Whenever there are problems like in schools, this is a fund that will respond to that emergency in a school immediately and does not need the long-winded processes of government. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the work this committee has done to point out the few problems that are actually affecting this fund. And it's good they have pointed out, they have given the recommendations, like the issue of the purchase of land. Mr. Speaker, schools will come and say, the school compound is small, we need land. And they don't have to go anywhere. It's actually purchase the land, and that is within the allowed provisions, and they'll get the land. But what is the problem with actually documentation of land in the rural areas? And this is something that should go to the Ministry of Lands. A lot of pieces of land in the rural areas are actually not owned by living people. If you go into the rural areas, the land has been passed on from great-great-grandfather to grandfather to the son, and they still just say, this is our land. So the process of purchasing land in the rural areas, it's actually complex, and I think that is why the CDF committees find themselves into this problem. In fact, the process of land, where there are no land registries, and some places, people have to travel very far to get to land registries, and then to get courts. You find a place where to go to court takes a whole day, to go to a land registry is another day, and you can't get it together. So, and because of that, people just hand over land by word of mouth. Even land is sold by word of mouth. I think the lawyers that are here should actually look at how do we help our people to have titles for land. I know a lot is going on, but the processes, the registries are not close to the people, courts are not close to the people, and I think that is something we should look at, because CDF will be used a lot, particularly for schools in land. It is good this has been pointed out. It is not only with the committees. Higher purchase, I think they have formed out, really, it doesn't really make sense to buy buses, for example, on higher purchase. As the law is now, once money is in the CDA fund, in the committee at the constituency level, it doesn't get back at the end of the financial year. So you can plan with money in the account and buy a bus at once instead of getting higher purchase arrangement, which actually makes the bus a lot more costly. So I think that is something that they have pointed out that I agree with. Stalled projects, I think we should not allow this. As I said, this is the only fund that people have access to. And people are always needy when they seek CDF funds. Security people, schools. And this fund, Mr. Speaker, has made a lot of difference to chiefs. Chiefs for a long, and the senior chiefs, and been actually managing or running their sub-locations and locations from their houses. And because of this, a lot of chiefs now have these police stations. We have now very neat police stations. So this fund has done a lot. People think that if this fund is actually, if we do away with this fund, the money in this fund will go to the counties. It won't. This money, as we all know, comes after the Division of Revenue has put money at the national level. And I would be concerned because really, let's face it, the use of money at the counties has not matched the value that people have seen with CDF funds. And now, I think we are all aware that some governors even opposing that they should not be audited by the Auditor General. I mean, that is ridiculous. So if we want, people are thinking we want to put a fund there, that is crazy. What we are doing now, we are actually discussing the Auditor General's report, and that is the oversight that we should do, and that is really our role. As the law stands, lawyers are here, I don't see what the role of the MP in CDF is other than oversight, and that's what we should do. And I think it is the closest oversight that we should encourage. If something is working well, like CDF has worked, I think we should now look at the law and see how do we improve it, not how do we kill it. And people want to kill something which is good for the people. I don't understand why we look at CDF fund as a fund for the MPs. It's not the MPs that will suffer. It is actually the I'll accept the information.
Honorable Mili.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've heard Honorable Nyikal keeps referring to us as lawyers, maybe the lawyers. So maybe I just wanted to inform him on the last issue, where he was actually asking that, that the role of MPs is purely oversight, which is true as currently constituted. But I do not understand why even the courts have not accepted the reality that there is no complete separation of powers. In most of the countries, it's a suffusion of powers. And if you are talking like just I just didn't want to talk a lot to it because, Honorable, I wanted to give other members. But I'm actually doing this as part of my PhD thesis, that what works, we must Africanize. We cannot be following blindly. When we have something good coming from Africa, why should we follow? Because Montesquieu from France in 1786 came up with that. Did Montesquieu know my village in Koloka Nyala in Rusinga Island? So we need to do things which work in Koloka Nyala. Yes, or in what in Rangwe? Or Moche in Rangwe. So, or Kanyada Kanyabala in your constituency. So that was my point of information, that there is no absolute separation. Even in the UK that we are following from, there is no absolute separation.
In fact, Honorable Dr. Nyikal, let me just say something Honorable Mili did not tell you. That when we decided we would be budgeting for the building of courts, I remember in the 11th Parliament, the executive said yes. But they said the money should go to the Public Works Ministry, not to the judiciary. Because the judiciary is to dispense justice, not to build. And I remember even being alive to separation of powers, and the parliament then, this parliament, seeing it that it would be better that money goes to the judiciary to build courts, because before money was being allocated for courts and nothing was being built anyway. We advised as the then JLAC that the money will go to the judiciary, and it is out of that, following our sitting where the current chair of JLAC, the Honorable Gitonga Murugara, was, that we told the judiciary to actually do a construction department, employing architects, engineers, quantity surveyors, and everybody to synchronize construction. So that if we were to have a pure separation of powers, then really the judiciary would not be receiving that money for building courts. It would be going to the works, department. So indeed there is no pure separation of powers. But the point that Honorable Nyikal was making, which you are distracting him from, honorable members, is also very critical. I just saw in the Citizen News today, governors saying that the bursaries they give should not be audited. Should not be audited. And so I heard Honorable Nyikal to be saying, an MP must audit, and that is the role this House currently have around CDF. The audit reports you are talking about came from the auditor. They are now before Parliament for cross-checking and for oversight purposes. So proceed, Honorable Nyikal.
Mr. Speaker, I've received a lot of information and I've been educated. But even if we say there's separation of powers, in my view, this is still separation. Ideally, if I look at, in my constituency, I look at how CDF is operating. If you look carefully, really, the Deputy County Commissioner has a more direct role on the management of CDF than an MP, right from the selection of the committee and the seat in that committee. And therefore, me, in my mind, even that separation has just gone further down. So, Honorable Mili, in your PhD, I think you should now look at it that even if you accept separation, then let it be known that the separation is still there, even at the constituency level. And I've indicated very well, if you look at the project management committee, the MP has no role there up to that level. So to me, if should it be that the separation is in principle need not be there, and then you can bring it out because of where we come from, our histories and so on, and our colonial history. But even if you accept the separation, to me, I still see separation up to the ground. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I support the report of the committee.
The Honorable Geoffrey Odanga is now recognized to speak.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Coming from Busia, where the team visited, I want to appreciate and thank them for the work they have done. And bringing out those challenges is quite critical and very important that will help us to improve in the management of the NGCDF by our committees and the manager. Honorable Speaker, my concern first is that, look at this, the decentralized committee came and was looking at an audit report that is 9 years back. It has taken so long, many things maybe will have gone wrong. They are only coming up with the report of the audit that has covered a whole 9 years. And this is to ask the Office of the Auditor General to bring out these reports frequently so that we are able and the committees are able to correct on the errors they have made. Because that will, the way they are doing it will take a long time for people to be able to put in place even their recommendations. And I like the recommendations of the Decentralized Committee under Honorable Mulyungi. Honorable Speaker, the issue of land is very emotive, and almost every member has commented on it. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to repeat what others have said about the same issue of land. But again, many of our people are not easy on releasing their title deeds to go for evaluation before they see payment. Some of them believe that maybe people are going to play around with their certificates. So the requirement that they first have to do evaluation and the owners of this land surrender their title deeds at least for use of evaluation makes the whole business very long and tedious. Maybe the board may need to find a better way. Secondly, the issue of buses. Initially, when we started, some of us took those buses on the hire purchase. And you know, we usually write proposals. And when you write proposals, the proposals are vetted by the board. The board needs to reject those proposals and advise the committees accordingly. Otherwise, I think the easiest way is to buy them at once. But the board needs to put it very clear that they will not accept buses on hire purchase. Honorable Speaker, the NGCDF has done a lot. And apart from, in my constituency, even last week, I delegated some work to some of my people in one of the schools. And one of those guys representing the county government tried to, like say, NGCDF, we have done nothing, we have not done cab rolling schools and so on. Members of the community just told them, show us one of the ECD classes you have constructed since you came to office. There is none actually. All development they are seeing is from the NGCDF. Honorable Speaker, co-funding is very important in some of these organizations we have done. But capacity building, like they have said, needs to be done regularly to the committees. One of the members of the former NGCDF board members visited Matthias constituency, and we went to one of the schools. So when we told them that we are doing co-funding, he was arguing that it's not provided for. But I told him, look at the act. So everybody needs capacity building, even from the board itself. The directors and so on may not exactly know what is required of the NGCDF about co-funding and so on, because with co-funding you just have to state exactly what the other party has done and your party that you are, as an NGCDF are going to do, and the cost. I want to agree with the Honorable Millie that we don't need to be copy-pasting when we are making our laws from the other parts of the world, Europe, America, where we have solutions, where we have our own ways of doing things. We need to improve and do things that suit our circumstances. And finally, Honorable Speaker, NGCDF is a very popular fund in this country. As we were making amendments to the NGCDF Act, we have had a few rejections from a few members from our sister house, which is not called for. Honorable Speaker, even if we went to the referendum now, NGCDF will be voted 110% for. So, Honorable Speaker, I support the report of the Decentralized Fund Committee, and that, Honorable Speaker, we, the people of Kenya, need NGCDF, and we want these recommendations they are making to be implemented. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, the MP for Kwanza, will speak, but before you do that, the Honorable Wanyonyi, let me recognize a public visit to the National Assembly. Honorable members seated in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon are St. Angela Merisi Wamagana, students and school from Tetu constituency from the county of Nyeri. I'm not able to see them clearly, but it appears it is a girls' school. And because the Honorable Member for Tetu is not there, I wanted to allow the Minority Whip to welcome them to this House of Parliament on behalf of the House. The Honorable Millie Grace Akoto Diambo Mabona.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And I wish to welcome the school from Tetu. Of course, they are girls. I know your eyesight is bad. Mine is bad, but not that bad, so I can see they're actually girls. But you might also just be protecting yourself by pretending that you are not seeing that they're girls. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, I just want to encourage the young girls and let them know that I'd earlier raised the issue about the death of Honorable Phoebe Asio. And I watched Honorable Phoebe Asio when I was about 11 years old. And when I watched her, I didn't watch her within Parliament. I watched her outside when she was doing, when they were counting her votes. She's amongst the first 10 women members of Parliament in this country. And in my county, she was the first woman. And Mr. Speaker, I came after her, after hiatus of 16 years. Why I'm telling the girls this is their privilege to be watching us from within Parliament. So if I watched Phoebe Asio from outside Parliament and I become a member of Parliament serving my 4th term, them watching me from here can be presidents. So I encourage you to work hard, be focused, be disciplined, and you'll get what you want, whatever you want. It's not only being an MP, be a leader, where you are. Even if it's selling sukuma wiki, be a leader where you are, where God chooses you. Thank you. Occupy the corner office.
So on my own behalf and on behalf of the House, I welcome the students from Tetu constituency, students of St. Angela Merisi Wamagana School to the National Assembly to watch the proceedings. May you grow to be good girls, not bad girls. Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi will now make his contributions.
May I make my contribution on this? Mr. Speaker, I think having read and heard the presentation by good brother, the chair, on what happened in this area, one and foremost, Mr. Speaker, let's be serious. CDF is actually there, and there are people who are actually making all sorts of remarks. Some of them are not very happy. Today, we've had these problems. They have even gone to court. They want to nullify that. They want this CDF to be discontinued. But you can, you and I know that because you are a Kenyan like I am, CDF has done so much for this country. And the absence of CDF, of course, will go back to Harambe. And I can tell you, Harambe in this country is not making sense at all. Even when somebody has passed on your area, all you hear is that please, Mr. Speaker, come and supervise or at least preside over, or be a master of ceremony or whatever it is, or be a guest of for the burial of whatever. And Harambes are not anything that you can go by. So CDF is such that we should do everything possible in this particular house. And I've sat here because I want to make this contribution because I want the Busia members of parliament, I think my colleague is here present and others are not here. Let's do the benchmarking. I, of course, have been in this parliament, this is my third year, and I can tell you that I'm very strict. I do the oversight. Because what happens is, Mr. Speaker, if you leave it as it is, today you have a fund manager coming in, he'll be there for about 4 or 5 months, and he goes away with no records at all. So if you don't do the oversight, you'll have these kind of problems that you are facing. And I can tell you CDF has done so much in terms of employment, in terms of infrastructure, and of course, we have also got bursaries that actually our children, those old men and women who have been left with the children because their parents passed on, they are not able to take them to school. And through CDF,
Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, do you agree to be informed by the Honorable Dr. Lillian Gogo?
She can make her own remarks after I've gone. She's a good rate. Yeah. All I'm saying is that CDF is...
Lillian Gogo, you can only inform a member who wants information. Unfortunately, the information is rejected. Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, proceed.
Thank you very much for your protection. I want to say this. I think there's a lot of, I think we've had experience, and I'm sure my colleagues from Busia have the same problem. We have a lot of changes of fund managers. And again, in that, you find the records, you don't find the records actually correct. And that's what I think this committee found out. I want to say that for 9 years, and they have not, corrected those things. For example, land. Land, is very emotive. And you are quite right when you spoke. Land is very emotive. In fact, you find that land has changed hands more than 4 or 5 times. And so by the time you come in and you want to purchase a piece of land for a school or for whatever institution, first of all, you must have an agreement. They must have an agreement, and you are a lawyer. You must have an agreement, and they go by that agreement. Doesn't matter just who was the owner of that particular piece of land. So I want to ask the the members of parliament from Busia that this is CDF, we must at all costs protect it. And when the outside people see this kind of loopholes, we're going to have problems and not be able to move as is expected. And therefore, I want to also make a remark on buying of the buses. I know you're not doing that. You can't have buses on high purchase. Buy 2 or 3 this particular financial year, and then another financial year buy another one. But in the old, now you are going on high purchase. The Speaker, again, it's something that's a loophole. Because then after that, what happens? When you fail to raise the money, and get the money is not just guaranteed, like we have not even received enough money for last financial year. We are now in the next financial year, and we have not received enough money. Now, whoever has given you money or given you a bus on high purchase, he may now pull out the bus. And then, of course, the name of the CDF becomes a problem, is tarnished. And therefore, my colleagues from Busia, I think that observation I'm saying, I think is not very good. But I think let's change the tax. Instead of doing what you are doing, do what is supposed to be done. And I want to support that report. And I hope and pray that changes and rectification be made so that it can be able to protect CDF. Because so many people, including governors and MCS, and even our sister senators who also want this to be moved from us. And you never know. And they find loopholes like this that goes to the public. Again, we actually find ourselves in a wrong way. I therefore support this committee, and I hope our brothers and sisters from Busia will be able to learn and be able to do benchmarking. Come to my place, you see what I've done. I want to come to Kwanza. Yes, and he's my colleague, so come to Kwanza. And I'll actually, yeah, you'll be all right. Thank you so much, and I support this report.
I really appreciate you, Honorable Speaker, and great grandson of Asumbi and Rangwe. And I rise to support this particular report of this committee. I appreciate the committee for considering audit reports of so many years so that they bring these matters to speed. And from the onset, Honorable Speaker, I want to say that it should be done at the earliest possible. Audit reports should be brought to the House at the earliest time possible, because ideally audit issues are not supposed to be punitive, Honorable Speaker.
Members left, we'll have another time to commiserate with them. Honorable Lillian Gogo, you may proceed.
Thank you, Honorable
I know
Speaker.
where the debate will be ended.
But we wish our colleague well, Honorable Speaker, and we appreciate when he makes an appearance in this August House. I was saying, Honorable Speaker, that audit matters and audit issues are generally not supposed to be punitive. And they are meant for identifying places where there should be improvement opportunities. They ensure, when audits are done, they ensure compliance and transparency. And also they mitigate risk and fraud. And they strengthen decision-making processes within systems of management. And they build stakeholder confidence and they also promote operational efficiency. Honorable Speaker, when this audit are brought to the floor of the House 9 years later, they probably would miss on the intentions, the noble intentions of the auditing system. I also want to indicate, Honorable Speaker, that NGCDF was largely borrowed from Zambia. And my senior guest, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo had indicated that there are times as Africans we should Africanize certain systems. CDF systems is also practiced in India as a jurisdiction. And there are many other jurisdictions that come to benchmark. They come to learn, they come to borrow from our processes, Honorable Speaker, to go and implement in their regions, which means that it is a good thing. People would not come to learn about the National Government Constituency Development Fund of Kenya as practiced in Kenya if they have not seen, or if they have not learned, or if they have not followed the benefits of this particular governance method. This is what I want to say about NGCDF, Honorable Speaker. How I plead with the Kenyan citizenry that we should constitutionalize NGCDF. Honorable Speaker, there was a delay in disbursement of the Rangwe Constituency Development Fund bursaries by the committee, and it was later on done sometimes in the last 2 weeks or so. Probably this was mainly because of delays in disbursement of funds from the board. But I can assure you, Honorable Speaker, when the CDFC committee was giving out these checks through the Director of Education, Rangwe Sub-County, and among other people who were in attendance were the DCC, from the communications that the teachers of local day schools gave is that that amount of money, the disbursement of the funds in form of by way of bursary, was a big plus to the various local day schools and boarding schools. Why? At times, capitations from the Ministry of Education delays. And as it were, and it is true, capitation has delayed. But this has generally been mitigated by the disbursement of monies by dint of bursary, which these various schools are going to use for the benefit of the learners and also for the benefit of running the schools by the heads of these schools. Honorable Speaker, if there is a particular fund that is audited many times, it is NGCDF. And this has come up because of the time, the length of time that CDF has existed, Honorable Speaker. I'm even shocked that some sub-counties, like where my brother, the Honorable Wanyonyi comes from, they are buying buses by hire purchase. I'm shocked. If that committee is buying by hire purchase, I am shocked. And I only wanted to give him information that this is a fund that goes to the lowest point, Honorable Speaker, of this country. To the lowest person. Right now, because of NGCDF, what I've seen my committee do, that in the constructions of schools, Honorable Speaker, in a local school called Bondo Primary School, I went there, I couldn't believe what NGCDF can do. We have classrooms that are built to modern standards, and they are tiled with modern boards, white boards, things that would have happened not if it were not for NGCDF. And I pray for your protection, Honorable Speaker. He refused that I shouldn't speak when he was speaking. Honorable Speaker, allow me to say this. I want to say this, Honorable Speaker.
You're not standing on a point of information. So what is out of order?
Mr. Speaker, I said we buy buses. I've never had any bus in my place on hire.
And that is what the Honorable Gogo
I was
said.
trying to correct him, not me. I buy buses. I've never, please, let it be on record.
Are you buying buses or CDF buying buses?
CDF buy buses, and I do the overhaul.
The country, you don't buy buses.
Order, honorable members. Well, the audit report indicates that there is the possibility that some NGCDF programs are buying on hire purchase. And this is what I hear both Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi and Honorable Gogo to cancel against. So there is nothing out of order either way. Honorable Lilian Gogo, proceed.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. And it is good for us to give good practices where they exist. And I can stand on the floor of this House, Honorable Speaker, and indicate that in one parliamentary term, Rangwe constituency NGCDF committee is on record for purchasing, not on hire purchase or not on credit, delivering a vehicle, a logbook, and a key to 14 schools. And Suba North, Honorable Speaker, has done the same. I saw Suba North last week deliver 2 brand new schools and school buses to schools. What a celebration. I've personally seen the Homa Bay town constituency do an excellent job with NGCDF through their committee. This is what I want to implore my people and the greater republic we love, the republic called Kenya. Let us see how we can shield this particular source of funds for the development of our various constituencies. The members of parliament strictly do oversight roles, like right now we are doing with the audit reports that have been generated from a raft of constituencies, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say that devolution is in no fight with national government. There is intergovernmental cooperation in various ways, including education. CDF is strictly or mainly rooted to cover education and security, which it has done very well. And I want to plead with our various stakeholders that as we do development in other places, other areas, social areas, let us ring fence CDF for purposes of involvement and infrastructural development for our education systems and also for our security systems. Honorable Speaker, without NGCDF, there is going to be so much hue and cry in the communities that benefit from this special fund. I thank you for the opportunity, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
The Honorable Agnes Pareyo, the MP for Narok North, will now speak. And honorable members, just to alert you, those ones of the honorable members who are walking out and those ones who are within the precincts, that the motion coming up next, in order number 10, is a very serious motion. It's a consideration of the third report on the employment diversity audit in public institutions, a very critical matter around inclusivity and equity. Let all members who are around come, because it is the motion to be moved next, and absent members, the debate on it will be concluded. The Honorable Pareyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support the report of the committee. NGCDF is a fund that is now popular in Kenya. I speak on behalf of my people and my constituency. If it were not for this fund, our people or the schools could not even afford to buy a bus to take their children for tours and for learning environments. But I remember last week I launched one, and since I was elected 2 years now, they already have 5 buses, which are really helping our children and are changing our children. And when it comes to separation of duties, the role of the MP is to oversight. And we have committees and the chairs who run day-to-day activities on the funds. So I want to say that this is money that we should really support, and this is money that is changing our people. And this money does not belong to MPs. It is run by the committee and separately, and it were not for this money, our communities could not even afford to build or construct toilets for their schools. So this is money that needs to be protected. This is very important money, and our role, I still say, our role as MPs is to oversight and make sure that they are done and there is accountability in that fund, because it is a fund that is meant to change our community and to better the quality of education in our schools. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That is, I'm seeing a member I cannot quite see on the screen, but that is Honorable Abdi Ali, the MP for Ijara. You want to speak to this? Please proceed. Give him the mic.
Thank you, Bwana Speaker. I'm happy to support and participate in this debate and also to support the report. Bwana Speaker, NGCDF, it is a fund that has brought a lot of positive impact on the ground. In my case, for the people of Ijara constituency, it is the only constituency where we are implementing a free secondary program for students in secondary schools. And we have achieved this kind of a big milestone because of NGCDF fund. We sat with the stakeholders of education. We agreed on how to improve our education in our region. Ijara constituency, the rate where the transition from primary to secondary, it was less than 50%. But through the initiative of free secondary school in Ijara constituency, with the support of NGCDF board fund, we are able to implement the program for 3 years. As you speak now, is over 3,000 students who have not paid a single coin under the courtesy of, because of the courtesy of NGCDF. And this fund, people are outside there, they are just selling a bad narrative, whereby they are saying this fund is for MPs. A member of parliament, his work is to oversight. I have constructed over 10 primary schools with NGCDF for the last 2 years. And every corner of Ijara constituency, I can confirm to you that no children is left out going to school. So the issue, the issue of what do you call the other, we are against the devolution. We are not against the devolution. This is a fund that we need to protect. This is a fund where the common mwananchi on the ground feel the impact. And MP has no role to say that this is an MP fund. We just do an oversight role. And I urge my colleagues, I urge the entire public of Kenya that we support the NGCDF, and it is the only fund that we feel the impact on the ground. without contribution, I say thank you, and I support the report.
The Honorable Stephen Mogaka is recognized to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance. And I must admit I'm a member of the...
What is out of order, the Honorable Cynthia Muge?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I don't know why I did not catch your eye earlier when the member that spoke last was on the floor, because there's a statement that member made, Honorable Speaker, that did not sit very well with me. The statement is partially right. He said that this is the only fund that we can feel the impact on the ground. Honorable Chair, Honorable Speaker, there are many other funds that can be felt on the ground, and number one is NGCDF, but it is not the only one.
Yes, so I will allow you some time to make your contributions. Obviously, under the standing orders, you cannot address the issue, the member having concluded her contribution. Honorable Mogaka, proceed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I am a member of this DFA committee that has tabled the report and moved the motion, and I'm a proudly happy person that this report has attracted the comments that it has. Mr. Speaker, this report has been made covering years since 2014, and I must commend the chair of this committee, Engineer Gideon, for being steadfast in managing us to deliver for that particular county. And I'm sure many more reports are coming through. But what I notice is that in this committee, I have been able to employ my accounting knowledge, my legal knowledge in examining what the Auditor General is saying about the management of NGCDF. And I must confess that even the auditors have deficiencies in capacity in examining what is required of the application of these NGCDF. In particular, it has disturbed me, Mr. Speaker, that in many constituencies, agreements are made on properties belonging to deceased people. And these are made clearly without any grant of letters of administration. And this imagination that somebody is somebody's child and therefore they are entitled to a certain property and that they can sell that property, particularly to a public entity, I think that is stretching the imagination too far. And with my chair and senior, Honorable George Murugara, can tell you that anybody personating a dead person and purporting to sell a property, that cannot fly. But some of these observations are what we have employed our legal minds to try and assist the board to mitigate potential losses from such cases. Because you can imagine, Mr. Speaker, if a person who believes is another's child and finds that at the time of distribution of the estate, that property was a subject of a will and is not a beneficiary, and NGCDF had already entered into an agreement with such a person, you can imagine the disaster that we will be sitting on. But all said and done, this committee is doing a great job, and we have worked around the clock to ensure that we become current in the reports that we are making. But coming to talk about NGCDF itself, and I want to agree with my senior, the Minority Whip, Honorable Millie, that NGCDF as a fund is a miracle fund. In fact, it is now making me believe that it is not only a fund, but a development model. Because in our economics, we were being taught of development models created or invented by certain people in the Western world. If you asked me, what NGCDF, as having been engineered to date, is achieving for Kenya, this is a development model that this country will very soon be exporting to other developing countries as a way of getting out of poverty, dependency, and getting into industrialization. And I hope Honorable Millie will offer me a chapter of her book for us to give the perspectives from the audit angle from what we have done with examining the auditor's report over the NGCDF. And because this is a very, very unique development model, it is no wonder then that civil society is being funded by neocolonialists to fight this NGCDF. Why is it that every time this NGCDF is taken to court, it is taken to court by civil society? Who funds the civil society? Africa will not continue being dependent. We are like M-Pesa, capable of evolving and creating development models like NGCDF that will change the world. And I want to speak from these chambers, Mr. Speaker, that while the civil society may look like they are anti-NGCDF, I want to also give them credit in equal measure that their challenges of the various acts of NGCDF have made this house improve the governance, improve the controls within that NGCDF Act to make it now a super development model, which now should actually not be fought, but entrenched in the Constitution. In fact, we should be very careful that whichever country comes to benchmark on this development model called NGCDF, they should be able to pay royalties to Kenya for inventing such a miracle development model. And as I say this, I want to urge all those who have to play their role to complete the entrenchment of NGCDF in the Constitution to do their role. Because this is a development model managed by, the lowest of the low. Yeah, the committees at the constituencies, the committees at the implementation stage, and this is where even the locals will always come and see what their money is doing. And I want to encourage us members that as much as NGCDF may be demonized, as much as it is fought, we know that the majority of Kenyans are for CDF. We know that we represent those majority of Kenyans. Let us bite the bullet and ensure we protect the people, we protect their fund, and we ensure that it is enhanced rather than threatened by those anti-development, anti-developmental neo-colonialist agencies. Mr. Speaker, I beg to support and congratulate my chair, Honorable Engineer Mulyungi, for being the best chair that I've ever had, having been elected only this term. And I'm also praying that through you and through NGCDF, I get 2 terms. Thank you so much.
The Honorable Edith Nyenze, the MP for Kitui West, is recognized to make her contributions.
Oh, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Noting the mood of the House and the many contributions, Speaker, which have been made, I now request you, Honorable Speaker, to call the mover to reply, and also noting the importance of the next motion. Thank you.
Yeah, when a member stands at a place and proposes that the mover be called to reply, the Speaker has to put a question for resolution and decision by the House. And so, honorable members, the Honorable Edith Nyenze, standing on in her place, has proposed that the mover be called upon to reply. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Before the mover replies, let me welcome a delegation of students from Kitunzi School in Kitui West constituency in Kitui County, who are seated in the public gallery to the National Assembly, this House of Parliament. On my own behalf and on behalf of the House, you are welcome to the National Assembly to observe the proceedings. The Honorable Nyenze, why are you standing again? You just spoke a short while ago.
Mr. Speaker, sir, kindly give me time to welcome these students are from my constituency.
Are the students still in the public gallery?
Yes.
Yeah, then the Honorable Edith Nyenze will welcome the students to this House of Parliament.
Yes. Students from Kitunzi Primary School are from Kitui West constituency. You are most welcome to Parliament. This is the National Assembly. And I sincerely welcome you to this place and wish you all the best. I pray that you work very hard and embrace hard work because you can do everything. You can even make it to Parliament. You can make it to also higher offices. And you will not just walk there without working hard, without being disciplined, without being determined to get the best in life. So I wish you all the best. Your school is one of the best schools in our constituency, and the NGCDF has contributed a lot in this school and in other schools in Kitui West. So I wish you all the best. If there are other schools, you are most welcome. Thank you. Sant.
The Honorable Edith Nyenze, you know the MP for Tharaka, who also chairs the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs, also comes from just across the other side. I will therefore allow the Honorable Gitonga Murugara to add his word of welcome.
Thank you.
To
Thank
the
you very
visiting
much,
students.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I join Honorable Edith Nyenze in welcoming the students from Kitui County. Kitui County is the neighbor of Tharaka Nithi County. I also have great relationship with that county. It's a county of great people. We've just debated the motion by Honorable Architect Gideon Mutemi Muliungi from Wingi Central, a great gentleman. My neighbor is supposed to be engineer Paul Musiemizengu, who was seated over there. I think he has left. And now Nyenze is the other side. This is important. It's important for Kitui to produce such learned people. The young students up there kindly do emulate these leaders who are highly learned, who also contribute a lot to this house, so that one day you also aspire to come here as leaders of tomorrow. So with those remarks, I do welcome the students to observe the proceedings as we continue with today's order business.
Thank you. I reiterate again, the students of Kitunzi School are welcome to the National Assembly to observe proceedings. The mover of the motion will now reply.
Honorable Speaker, allow me, because of the nice words which my neighbor and respected lawyer, Mr. Honorable Gitonga Murugara, has made on me, and because he was the loudest when you put the question to say no, allow me to give him just 2 minutes to say something about this CDF. Then I'll reply.
Honorable Muliungi, I know how generous you are and you can get, particularly when members support your motion. But Honorable Murugara, I know will reject that act of generosity because he knows under the standing orders, in a motion such as this, you can never donate. So you can only proceed as I now direct, that you proceed and reply. Who do you want to inform? The mover has not requested for. Mover, have you agreed to be informed about anything by the Honorable Karoli?
He's my lawyer, so I have to agree.
Order, Honorable Karoli. Honorable Karoli, I have not heard the mover to make any statement in replying for any form of information. Do you want to inform him about how he's standing to speak or what? Yeah, because the mover has not made a statement, the basis upon which you may give him supplementary information. And so, despite the visible and highly discernible generosity of the mover, even to be informed before he says anything, that point of information is contrary to the standing order and is rejected. The mover, you will now reply.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank members who have made their contributions on this motion, which were very good contributions. And I want to take note that the contributions which have been made on the floor of this House are going to enrich our future reports of this committee. Mr. Speaker, I want to reaffirm that NGCDF is a national fund and MPs have no role in it. As chair of this committee, I've been auditing the fund, and I do not, and I want to repeat, I do not audit members of parliament. I audit fund managers and the CEO of NGCDF. Mr. Speaker, it is high time that NGCDF, because of the impact it has created in the constituencies, it is entrenched in the Constitution so that it is permanent and nobody on this earth should touch it, so that it can live it can live to eternity.
To be informed by the Honorable Karoli Omondi.
Mr. Speaker, I just told you that Honorable Karoli Omondi, at one time, we were actually working with him in the ministry under Kibaki administration, in the same position. And from that time, he became my lead counsel. And therefore, I have no business to refuse.
Yeah, Honorable Karoli Omondi, you will now give the information you want to give. And the Honorable members leaving, I want you to check what is coming next in order number 10 and 11, very serious motions. The Honorable Karoli Omondi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Gideon Mulungi. It is true we worked very well, and it is true I'm also his lawyer, but he's also my counselor in other matters. Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to inform the Honorable Chairman that last week the Committee on Constitutional Implementation had a long meeting with the judiciary, represented by a judge of the Court of Appeal, Justice Fatuma Sichale, as well as the Judicial Service Commission, represented by none other than the Commissioner, Isaac Ruto, and even the Chief Registrar of the Court of Kenya, High Court of Kenya, Chief Registrar of the Judiciary. And we agreed that from now on, we will be partnering with the judiciary, not as members of parliament, but as people in our constituencies, to have courts built using CDF funds. I think that is a very significant development that this House should take judicial notice of, so that when we go for public participation as members of parliament, in those jurisdictions where we still don't have courts, we can put a word to the CDF committees and to the public that if they agree, the judiciary has already prepared a prototype court, which they shared with us and which we will share with the members. And going forward, the judiciary and the CDF will be partnering in building courts. I think that is a very important piece of information for the public. Thank you very much.
Point of further information.
Thank you. The chair of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs wants to inform you. Do you want this information, Honorable Gideon Mulungi?
Mr. Speaker, I told you he's my neighbor and my good friend. So he can proceed.
The Honorable George Gitonga Murugara.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it's only to put further information to what you alluded to on the basis that we've given the courts the power to actually build courts and other judiciary buildings, although anybody would argue they are not supposed to do this. Confirm that the judiciary as a department known as the Department of Building Services, DBS, which is actually headed by an architect like the Honorable Mulungi, so that we are able to have these courts, including the prototype that Honorable Karoli has referred to, being constructed in very effective and also pocket-friendly manner, so that CDF is able to do all this, not through members of parliament, but through the constituencies and the constituency committees. Thank you.
The Honorable Gideon Mulungi, you can now proceed.
Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, allow me to confirm to the nation that if you take a chopper and fly over Kenya, the only icons of development you'll be able to see in every village in Kenya is projects funded by NGCDF. And therefore it's a fund that should be protected by all and sundry. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I beg to reply.
The Honorable Mogaka requests to inform you. Do you accept his information?
You know, the only senior counsel in my committee is him. So I cannot refuse. He's allowed to speak anytime.
You are very easy with advocates of the High Court serving as state officers in Parliament. Honorable Mogaka, proceed and give the information.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I wanted to expand what my chair has said, that for records, NGCDF funds are only utilized to make developments in the executive wing of government and the judiciary. Not a penny is spent on the legislature. So that as they demonize members of parliament as associated with the NGCDF, the facts stand that it is schools which fall under the executive and it is the courts that fall under the judiciary that are beneficiaries of these funds. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I thought, Honorable Mogaka, you were going to inform Honorable Muliungi that the Ngong Law Courts is a CDF project, purely. Actually, the entire Ngong Law Courts is built by CDF.
And many more.
And so what Honorable Karoli was informing Honorable Gideon Muliungi about is something which is not starting, but has been going on. Honorable Muliungi, do now conclude.
Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I beg to reply and request that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 53/3, you defer the putting of the question to another sitting. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The putting of the question to this motion will be in the future, when it will next be listed for consideration by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 10, motion. Consideration of third report on the employment diversity audit in public institutions.
Mover. That the chairperson, Committee on National Cohesion and Equal Opportunity.
No, I have that one. Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that the House adopts the third report of the Committee of the National Cohesion and Equal Opportunity on Employment Diversity Audit in public institutions laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, the 30th of April. Honorable Speaker, allow me to touch the mandate of this committee through various legal proceedings. In the first one, the committee is formed under the under the Standing Order 212C. And Honorable Speaker, this committee derives its mandate from various articles in the Constitution. To name just a few, is Article 54(2), which provides the state shall ensure that progressive implementations of the principle of at least 5% of members of the public in elective and appointive positions to be persons with disability. Article 55B, which says the state shall take measures, including affirmative actions and programs, to ensure the youth have the opportunities to associate, be represented, participate in politics, social and economic, and other spheres of their lives. Article 2321 provides for values and principles of the public service that include affirmative action. Honorable Speaker, the committee is further guided by Section 7 of the National Cohesion and the National Cohesion and Integration Act, number 12 of 2008, which now the committee is trying to rebuild and come up with a new act under the new constitution. Honorable Speaker, the committee on its own motion resolved to carry out inquiries into employment diversity in the public institutions. The committee looked under this report various institutions, and more or less, this is the third report. The first report, the second report, and this being the third report, They are more or less the same. The institutions we looked under this report are Lake Victoria South Water Works Development Authority, Rivertex East African Limited, Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, Lake Victoria North Water Works Development Agency, the Kenya Industrial Estate, the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, the Kenya Medical and Training Colleges. Honorable Speaker, the main objective of this inquiry was guided by 4 parameters, that is, ethnicity, gender, age, and persons with a disability. Honorable Speaker, the inquiry, the committee had and received both oral and written submissions from the chief executive officers of these organizations. To give a brief overview, the committee encountered the following. Looking at the ethnic community representation, Honorable Speaker, Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital has the highest representation of one ethnic community, which is the Kalenjin community, with 66.2% of its staff as one ethnic community. Honorable Speaker, the 4 institutions have been dominated by the Kalenjin community, and they include Rivertex, East Africa Limited, Kenya Industrial Estate, Kenya Medical Training College, and Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. Lake Victoria South Development Water Agency has been dominated by the Luo communities. And the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority has been dominated by the Kikuyu communities. Looking at the percentages, most of these dominant communities may be as a result of where the institution is situated. And most of the people forming the larger number of these communities in those areas are the lower cadre. That is why the committee is, yes?
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, is it in order for the chair to make remarks that Kalenjins is composed of 66% in Moi Teaching and Referral, and yet Kalenjins is not registered as a tribe? Kalenjin is not registered anywhere as a tribe. There is Tuken, Nandi, Kipsigis, Marakwets, Keos, and so on. So to allude that 66% of employees of MDRH are Kalenjins is fiction, because there is no Kalenjin. Mr. Speaker, Kai at this house.
The chair, where do you get the community called Kalenjin in our ethnic groupings in Kenya?
This is as per presented by the CEO of the hospital. And we went ahead and asked that same question, and he says he got it from the Kenya Registration Bureau of Statistics, registered as Kalenjin. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Chair, so far as I know, there is no ethnic community in Kenya called the Kalenjin. The Kalenjin is a grouping of various ethnic communities, mostly coming from Rift Valley. You're like saying Mount Kenya community or Gema community. There is no ethnic community like that.
Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, so essentially I direct that you give us a breakdown of what communities are within the 66. There is no community in Kenya called the Kalenjin community.
Mr. Speaker, I have the larger report which is here.
Yes.
And I already tabled it long ago. And if you look at that particular report.
No, you may proceed. Just proceed with your contribution.
Okay, thank you.
Honorable Makilap, what do you still find to be out of order?
Unless in his report we expunge the word Kalenjin community in that report, because if he's serious about it, you could break down how many KOs, how many Nandis, how many Kipsigis, and so on. But blanket statement called Kalenjin, Mr. Speaker, is neither here or there, and that needs to be expunged from your records, my good friend.
Can I continue?
Chair, does your report break down the communities you put under the umbrella of Kalenjin community, which is not a recognized ethnic group in Kenya, to the very groups that decided, for reasons we all know, to call themselves Kalenjin?
Mr. Honorable Speaker, this is as it is from the Kenya Bureau of Statistics. And we can refer back to it. Yeah, and that is the way it has been presented. Thank you.
Honorable Karoli Omondi, what is out of order?
Honorable Speaker, could the expert in the House quickly get us Kenya National Bureau of Statistics
Yes,
census
good.
reports of 2009, 2019,
Yes.
and we see what ethnic groups are there?
Very good.
Because Kalenjin as a group, we know for sure did not exist until 1979, when it started appearing in official government documents. So could we have very quickly the clerks get us the census report of 2009 and 2019 published by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics?
In fact,
thank you.
You remember Kalenjin was then to move to Kamatusa. I doubt you would be saying Kamatusa University. I mean, now. And then, you know, we also have Gema now and Gema South and Mount Kenya. So what community,
I think those are not...
in your view, occupies 66% of the employment opportunities at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital? This is serious.
Yeah, referring to Moi Referral and Teaching and Referral Hospital, I stand by what I said, and according to their report by the CEO, 66%, 66.2% of the community are Kalenjins. I stand firm unless otherwise.
I'm asking for my own mic. Honorable Wenbaya is always very alert about communities. And I think we say the last, by your intervention, we added the Pemba community. Okay? That was after the Makonde. And so we have about how many ethnic communities? 46 by now. And so, Honorable Chair, we are not saying this in any idle way. If you look at Article 232 of the Constitution, at sub-article 1G, H, and I, it speaks to ethnic communities. And those ethnic communities are 46 or thereabouts. And they don't include this one you call Kalenjin community. So why don't you just request for time to put additional information so that in the meantime we allow you to continue moving.
Mike.
The Honorable
thank you.
Murugara. Yeah, I will give you Honorable Mili after Honorable Murugara. This is a serious issue because we want to see whether the Constitution is being implemented. And remember, even the President is required to give a State of the Nation address on national values, which includes inclusivity and how national resources, including public service appointments, are going along and to the ethnic communities, as mentioned in Article 232. Honorable Murugara.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you're right to say that the chairperson should actually get a little more time so that he gives us a breakdown of the communities, the way they are known in law under the registration of persons, so that we do not have clusters of communities being referred to as one group. Because soon, possibly, I'll be asking when it comes to the Tharaka, and he will be saying the Tharaka are part of the Meru, which is true. I don't refuse any of that, but Tharaka is recognized as a community distinct and separate from Meru. So, we go to the Mijikenda. We have the Mijikenda coming in, and we are told they occupy 0.001, and we ask ourselves, who are the Mijikenda? So I think we need to go strictly by how the law is and how our ethnic communities are recognized, so that we are able to understand exactly if there is any blame of imbalance. Is it a genuine blame, or it's one that has been possibly misrepresented? So my view would be, and I propose, that he steps down the moving so that we get a supplementary report on this, and then we are able to understand what is moving, because if he continues moving, giving us all this information, we may not be able to actually contribute in debate. Thank you.
Did I hear you to move under Standing Order 96?
Standing Order 96,
could you
yes.
just pass to Honorable Murugara?
Yes.
The Standing Order provision, so that if he's moving, he can move rightly.
I can move rightly.
Yes, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo as Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable
indeed, I want
Murugara,
to...
look at the standing order and see whether you want to so move. Honorable Millie Mabona.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I want to agree with Honorable Murugara that we need to actually go by that Standing Order number 96. The reason being, I was actually, unfortunately, because I'm multitasking in this era of technology, I was trying to look at the schedules to the Constitution, whether, how the tribes are defined. And indeed, if the law does not define Kalenjin, then you cannot also cluster as Kalenjin. And similarly, I would hope, because I know everybody is very keen on the issue of communities, I hope that if you get this opportunity to go back and relook at your report, that when you also talk of the Luo, I hope that you have not put Suba in it, because Suba is also a very distinct tribe. So that when you put Luos as very high, and then Subas have got nothing. Mr. Speaker, I'm actually lucky because I'm half Suba and half Luo. Suba is a Bantu tribe. Luo is Nilotic. So when you actually put them, lump them together, Mr. Speaker, and then you say Luos have this much, then you might actually end up marginalizing certain communities or misrepresenting. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, I would want to urge the committee, as they are doing this, to also take this duty very seriously. If you listen to what even, for instance, the former deputy president talks about, and he pushes very strongly the Kikuyu agenda. And we complain when he pushes the Kikuyu agenda. At least he's being very honest that this country is very ethnic. And unless we plan with that ethnic reality, we will continue fighting. And that is why, for instance, in my earlier contribution,
Karoli,
I'm on a point of order.
You cannot inform On a point of order.
Mr.
I'll give you a
Speaker.
chance if you have a matter to raise.
Yes, thank you. I've been told I look nice, but thank you. But I'm kind of always nice, But it's in my DNA. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to say that I hope, and I strongly participated. Actually, probably 3/4 of that bill that you are repealing to bring a new one, I actually contributed towards it. And I want to urge that as a country, let us take the issues that are bedeviling this country seriously. And one of it is the issues of skewed appointments. And because of that, give correct representation of figures. Even if it affects my own community, I will tell you that is wrong. Let us remember others. But in your computation, also let us look at it vis-a-vis populations. So that, for instance, if Kikuyus are dominant and we know their population, we cannot vilify them for that. But it must be proportional to their, so that you don't say that Kikuyus get, say, for instance, 90%. What is the rest of the country, 10%? But on the other hand, is Kikuyu is whatever, 40%, it may make sense, except that law does not allow that. We actually put a percentage in that law for a purpose. So I'd request, Mr. Speaker, that they go back. I agree with, even though I'm anticipating, but I'd agree and I support Honorable Murungara that the committee goes back and requests better information that uses legal definitions. I would like to see Suba. I'd like to see Luo. I wish I could also put in the belly, but unfortunately they are not there. But at least now we have Shona. Thank you.
The Honorable Karoli Omondi.
Honorable Speaker, the Constitution clearly recognizes that we have ethnic groups or ethnic nationalities in this country. We may argue about who they are or what their names are, but that recognition is there, and we all understand what ethnic grouping is, whether we use local laws or international instruments. But let me go straight to the data, ethnic affiliations, as issued on March 22nd, 2013 by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Actually, the first ethnic group recognized by KNBS is the Basuba. That is number one. Then Embu and the rest. But then there are some communities that are then broken down into sub-ethnic groups. And the first one are the Luyas. You have Bahayo, Banyala, Banyore, Batsoso, Bukusu, Idaho, Isuka, Kabras, Kisa, Marachi, Maragoli, Marama, Samia, Tachoni, Tiriki, Tura, and Wanga. The second group that are then recognized into their sub-ethnic groups are the Mijikenda. Boni, Chonyi, Dahalo, Digo, Duruma, Giriama, Jibana, Kambe, Kauma, Pokomo, Rabai, Ribe, Wata. Then there are the Waswahilis. Amu, Bajuni, Chitundu, Jomvu, Munyoyaya, Mvita, Ngare, Pate, Siu, Vumba, Wachangamwe, Wafaza, Wakatwa, Wakilifi, Wakilindini. And then we have the Kalenjin. The Kalenjin are then broken down. Aror, Bungomek, Cheranganyi, Dorobo, El Molo, Endo, Keio, Kipsigis, Marakwet, Nandi, Ogiek, Sabaot, Samor, Senger, Sengwer, Terik, Tugen, Pokot, and Rois. Meaning they
It's on a point of order.
They can be described
Honorable
in one
Owen
nomenclature.
Baya, I'll allow you to speak after him because we are a house of rules.
Yes.
It's on a point of order.
Yeah. And even the Somalis are then broken down.
The confirmation we want from you, Honorable Karoli,
Yes.
is how many ethnic communities do we have in Kenya? We are told there are 46.
What I've read are more than 46. But this is an official government document.
Yes, but that
yes.
is...
So
is
the Honorable Chairman...
Is that the authority...
The Honorable Chairman...
Is that the authority...
is quite right to group either as Kalenjin or as Luyas without going into the sub-ethnic
No, that
groups.
is if he goes with that document, you are a top lawyer, very senior lawyer. Is it the law that if we want to know the ethnic communities in Kenya, that is the document we go to? the Kenya, or that is the authority to consult.
Where else would you find
I
them?
doubt so.
The Constitution does not list them. So the only agency that has done a census and that speaks to them is the Kenya National Bureau of Standards. Of Statistics.
Thank you, Honorable Karoli.
There is no other,
the Honorable
other document.
Honorable Speaker, listening to the Honorable Member, actually start doubting his credentials as a lawyer. And I want to say this. Everybody in this country knows who the Mijikendas are, and the Pokomos are not. Even you know that. So when you read a document and say that the Pokomos are Mijikendas, you actually know that that's a misleading document. And then you put another, the Luo. Then you also put the Wata as part of the Mijikenda. You know the Mijikenda is Mijikenda because there are 9 Mijis, 9 homes. But you have read a list that includes almost 12. You cannot rely on a document that you actually know ab initio it's a wrong document and actually present it at the floor of the House. The Minister of Interior, Honorable Karoli and Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Interior holds this information, the authentic information. When we made the Pemba, one of the ethnic communities in this country, actually the Minister of Interior gave a list and said, this is the 46th as entered in the data of the country, not by Kenya National Bureau of Standards. I have seen the document by Kenya National Bureau of Standards. But Kenya National Bureau of Standards relies on what people say they are. For example, if you look at the Kenya National Bureau of Standards document, Honorable Speaker, on ethnicities, there are people who actually call themselves Mijikenda. You see, if you look at the list, they say, when they break down Mijikenda, they will say there's a tribe called Mijikenda, there's the Giriama, then there's the Chonyi, then there's the Kauma, there's the Kambe, then other people who are Pokomos also call themselves Mijikenda. But we know data, and you know facts are very stubborn. Honorable Karoli and Honorable Speaker, facts are very stubborn. And therefore, one of the things that we know from history, and we know as a fact, there are certain communities that were bunched together by the Europeans and just called them Kalenjins. But you know there is no tribe called Kalenjin. But because of colonial shenanigans, they were put together like that. Just like the Mijikenda, just because they wanted to bunch us and say, these are Mijikendas. Honorable Speaker, we must put historical facts right. And Parliament should not allow substandard information. What I ask of you, and I have a lot of respect for the chairman. I have a lot of respect for the chairman because he helped me some other time, especially on the Pemba. He was one of those people that helped us. And I have a lot of respect. But this document that he's presenting here is not authentic. And anything that is unconstitutional, I want to repeat, unconstitutional, cannot be presented in this House. Anything that is unconstitutional, I think that is the rule of the thumb.
Yes, so honorable members.
That report must be withdrawn, Honorable Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Thank you. The Honorable Murugara, I've read Standing Order number 96, which you want to move under. And it does appear to suggest to me that you can only so move once the question has been proposed by the chair. And so I want to request all members to allow the mover to completely move. The speaker will then propose the question. Then these issues may come up. So mover will continue.
Thank you, Honorable
And remember,
Speaker.
if the mover moves and the motion by Murugara does not succeed, the motion under 96, members are still in their right place in their contributions to rectify the report, even to amend it. Yes, so mover, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for that guidance. Now, I want to report on the people with disability. None of the institutions that have been mentioned above complied with the constitutional mandate requiring at least 5% of persons with disability be given the opportunities. Kenya Industrial Estate had the lowest they had 0.97 of disabled people among their staff, where the Constitution requires a minimum of 5%. Some of the institutions reported low representation of youth, and they say a lot of youth is normally not considered because of the type of requirement that maybe for some jobs, 10 years of experience, 5 years of experience, which many of the youth do not have. Honorable Speaker, most institutions met the 2/3 gender rule. Almost all of them, except the Lake Victoria North Water, which was also very close to the actual requirement of 30%, they had 28%. So with some improvement, the 2/3 gender rule is being complied by most of the institutions. Honorable Speaker, the committee recommended that the public institutions that fail to show improvement in recruitment compliance within a year appearing before the committee should have their CEOs accountable for not improving. The committee also recommended that the Public Service Commission should prepare regular quarterly reports and annual audit reports to assess how public institutions are improving in trying to make sure that they comply with the constitutional requirement. The committee also recommended that the National Council for People with Disability should conduct semi-annual audits to evaluate the representation and inclusion of people living with disability. Honorable Speaker, the other recommendation that the committee gave was that the public institutions need to work closely and proactively with all organizations in order to develop effective constitutional requirement. The Public Service Commission should establish clear, transparent standards and criteria for employees' promotions to eliminate biases and dominancy which are above the constitutional requirement. Honorable Speaker, this report sheds light on critical issues of employment diversity in our public institutions by fostering an inclusive and diverse workforce. Public institutions can help to address the need of the citizens and contribute to positive social change to ensure a more equitable future for all. Honorable Speaker, finally, having noted the proceedings of the National Cohesion and Equal Opportunity on the employment diversity audit in public institutions, I beg to move and urge the House to adopt this report, and I now...
The Honorable Chair.
Yes, sir.
You know, the Constitution says that, in fact, let me read it, Article 232, Sub-Article 1I. Among the values, national values and principles of public service is affording adequate and equal opportunities for appointment, training, and advancement at all levels of public service, at all levels, to men and women, the members of all ethnic groups, and to persons with disabilities. So your report is correct. But have you broken down your report in terms of levels? And then I'm saying this, Chair, because this is a major national issue.
Yeah.
You could be telling us that at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, the Kalenjin are the majority by 66%.
Yes.
But they could be floor sweepers. So do you have that categorization? Conclude your contribution.
Okay, thank you. Well guided. So I beg to move and urge the House to adopt this report. And now I request Honorable Agnes Barrio to second the motion.
The Honorable Agnes Pareyo, proceed and second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Being a member of that committee, I second the report as it is, and listening to your advice and the contribution of the other members, I think we need to consider that factor. So I think it should be me seconding with an amendment of the communities. Thank you.
Second.
Yeah?
Just conclude by saying you beg to second, or you second.
I beg to second.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Agnes Pareyo. Honorable members, I now propose the question. This House adopts the third report of the Select Committee on National Cohesion and Equal Opportunity on the employment diversity audit in public institutions, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 30th April 2025. The Honorable Murugara.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise at my place, understanding order number 96, and request that the debate on the consideration of the third report on the employment diversity audit in public institutions be adjourned to allow members to go through the report and debate from a point of information when the motion is scheduled next. Honorable Chair, as you may have noted from the floor of the House, we have raised various questions whereby we feel we need those questions and bridges are bridged so that when we debate next, we have full information on what the debate is all about. This is what is called a dilatory motion, and it is purely confined to this particular motion, which is on the consideration of third report on the employment diversity audit in the public institutions. So, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Honorable Murugara, who is seconding your dilatory motion?
Honorable Speaker, I request the Honorable Member from Bomet, Honorable Francis Sigei, former Commissioner of the City of Nairobi. He was a Provincial Commissioner and Ambassador. So I request him to second.
The Honorable Ambassador Francis Sigei, MP for Sotik.
Sotik, Honorable Speaker, I beg to correct the mover that I am the MP Sotik constituency, not Bomet. Chair, I second the motion. And Chair, I want to say two things. Number one, Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the Chair for trying to really bring up the issues in this country. Mr. Speaker, the problem of ethnicity in our institution is a national issue. And Mr. Speaker, what our chair has brought up in this committee is a tip of the iceberg. Mr. Speaker, I sit in the PIC, that is Public Investments Committee on Education and Governance. And Mr. Speaker, this problem is cropping almost every day whenever we sit. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, there is need for serious conversation. And Mr. Speaker, to bring up facts on issues which are very glaring in this country. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to second Mheshimiwa Muragara on what he has said on what I was standing what 96. Sorry.
Yeah, honorable members, I now propose the question. The debate on this motion be now adjourned. Is it the view of the House that I put the question? Is it the mood of the House that I put the question? I've proposed the question. Let me give Honorable Naisula Lesuda a chance to contribute to the dilatory motion, not to the substantive motion.
Yes, Speaker. Thank you. I have been a very good student of yours, so I know that I have to debate to this motion now. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, I find it very interesting that especially those who have already talked on the same issue are the ones, not the ones who have proposed, they are the ones shouting that we defer this motion, Mr. Speaker. So I just want to say this. If Honorable Morogara has not read the report...
Honorable Owen Bayer, what is out of order?
You know, the Honorable Lesuda is very senior, even to me. But you see, in this Parliament, National Assembly, we have never had, the word shouting is very unparliamentary. You know, we are taking a vote, and the vote, the law allows, the standing order allows us to say either nay or aye, you know. So to say, actually, she needs to withdraw that we are shouting. We are taking a vote constitutionally within the ambit of parliamentary standing order. We're not shouting.
Honorable Naisula Lesuda will withdraw that and continue.
I did not say who was shouting. I don't know why the majority whip is very guilty. But I want to say this. This is a very important national issue, Mr. Speaker. Some of us have read the report. We have researched on the report. We are ready to debate on this very important motion, Mr. Speaker. And I can see the slyness of my colleague. I think we are same ranking level. The slyness and the cheekiness is that I know which motion he wants us to go to, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members,
so, let us proceed,
you cannot
Mr. Speaker.
impute ill motive on a member. Yeah. Honorable Naisula Lesuda, that one you have to withdraw.
Thank you.
No member runs the House. The House is run and presided over by the Speaker, but decisions in the House in terms of how we proceed are ultimately made by the members. Withdraw slyness and which other word did you use? And cheekiness. Members can never be sly and cheeky.
So I withdraw, but on a very serious note, Mr. Speaker, personally, I am ready to debate on this very important motion, and once you put the question, I will be proposing that we proceed with this motion.
Thank you. The Honorable Dr. Lillian Gogo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And allow me, Honorable Speaker, to take the position of the Honorable Naisula, that some of us have well researched on this matter, and when it is to be casually, Honorable Speaker, we know that employment diversity is a very emotive issue in this country. And when we just want to wish it away for another time, and some of us have been waiting here, have researched, have talking points, and are ready to debate on the matter, up to and including clarity from the committee chair on when he lumps together, Honorable Chair, and he says that 66% are of this particular ethnic community. We need clarity, Honorable Chair, on whether they are lower cadre, middle cadre workers, or they are specialized officers. We cannot get sweepers to go and work at MTRH when the local community can do the cleaning work, Honorable Speaker. So I stand to oppose the proposition that this matter be adjourned. Thank you.
Yes, honorable members, you have spoken. Let me now put the question. The debate on the motion on Order 10 be now adjourned. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Yes. Yeah, so that motion, I hope it will be scheduled at the earliest opportunity by the House Business Committee, now that it has been duly moved for debate. And I can tell you, gauging by the mood, it will be a very serious debate in the manner we want it to be. So let all members get hold of the report. As you look at the report, you should also have a global figure of the nation. I don't know why we chose some small organizations like Lake Victoria South. Which other one is in this report? Instead of, I thought you would start from the cabinet coming down where it matters most. Next order. Next order. You can't inform the Speaker, Chair, Regional Integration Committee. Next order.
Order number 11, the Election Offences Amendment number 2 Bill, Senate Bill number 28 of 2024, second reading.
Mover. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as I move, I would like to ask the Honorable Mayaka to listen. This is very important, and I'm sure you will contribute, including the Honorable Lesuda. Yes, this is important. You need to stay around. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Elections Offences Amendment Bill number 2, Senate Bill number 28 of 2024, be now read a second time. Honorable Speaker, by way of introduction, my Speaker, the Elections Offence Amendment Bill number 2 seeks to amend Section 6 of the Elections Offences Act 2016, that is Cap 66, to enhance the integrity of Kenya's electoral process by addressing gaps in the legal framework governing electoral offenses, ensuring timely declaration of election results, and protecting candidates and voters from coercion and misinformation. Honorable Speaker, I'm trying to lay the basis of this amendment, that it affects these important things. You see, Honorable Speaker, as we approach 2027, we have to ensure these things are done. And they are the framework. This amendment, Honorable Speaker, provides the framework governing electoral offenses. I'm repeating that, Honorable Speaker, ensuring timely declaration of election results and protecting candidates and voters from coercion and misinformation. That is the gist of this amendment, Honorable Speaker. I hope the Honorable Member for Semi has heard these things that I'm talking about. As a background, Honorable Speaker, we know what happened in 2022, where people tried to delay results, tried to make sure results are not released, they ran for press conferences, and do all that manner of shenanigans, Honorable Speaker, to delay the announcement of results. But now, under the NATCO report, Honorable Speaker, after the NATCO talks, Honorable Speaker, we have now to move forward from report to law to ensure that we implement the things that NATCO talked about. So, Honorable Speaker, as a background, the Elections Offences Amendment number 2 Bill 2024 emanates from the recommendations of the National Dialogue Committee, the NATCO report, established by the National Assembly and the Senate through resolutions passed on 16th August 2023 and 9th August 2023, respectively. NATCO was mandated to facilitate dialogue, build consensus, and recommend constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on issues concerned to the Kenyan public, including matters related to electoral justice, Honorable Speaker. The NATCO report submitted to Parliament and adopted by the National Assembly and the Senate on the 27th of February 2024 and 21st of February 2024, respectively, Honorable Speaker, proposed legislative reforms including the introduction of the Elections Offence Amendment Bill 2024 in the Senate. Following deliberations by the speakers and the leaders of the majority and minority, Honorable Speaker, of both houses, it was agreed that this bill be introduced at the Senate, for which it was introduced at the Senate in the NATCO report. The bill was published in the Kenya Gazette Supplement number 98 on 7th May 2024, introduced to the Senate and passed with amendments on 19th November 2024. It was subsequently forwarded to the National Assembly for consideration, and here we are, Honorable Speaker, to consider the amendments and also to consider this important bill, Honorable Speaker. My Speaker, permit me therefore to highlight sections of the Principal Act that the bill seeks to amend. Honorable Speaker, the bill amends Section 6 of the Principal Act by introducing offenses for failing to declare presidential election results within 7-day period. It's an offense, Honorable Speaker, if you do not declare the presidential results of the election within 7 days period, mandated by Article 138. Because Article 138 says that election results must be declared within 7 days. But if you fail to do that, Honorable Speaker, it becomes an election offense. And I want the new commission to take note that it will be an election offense if you fail to declare results within that. Or failing to declare results, election results, immediately after the close of the polling station. You know, Honorable Speaker, there are times when polling stations are closed and results have not been declared. But immediately after close, and they close at 6, Honorable Speaker, after close of polling as required by Section 39(1) of the Elections Act, it becomes criminal, Honorable Speaker. So I want those people that are given the mandate to oversee elections to know that if we do not declare results within that specific, it becomes an offense, Honorable Speaker, if we pass this amendment, Honorable Speaker. It also criminalizes knowingly interfering with, altering, destroying, or concealing election materials or declared results, including knowingly causing another person to do so. So, Honorable Speaker, it becomes an offense when we pass this law. It becomes an offense. And it becomes a criminal offense, knowingly interfering with, altering, destroying, or concealing election materials or declared results, including knowingly causing another person to do so. Honorable Speaker, becomes criminal offense. My Speaker, the bill also amends Section 13 to clarify that making false statements about a candidate, and this is very important, and I would like all politicians in this country to hear this, because this is a practice that people do, that making false statements about a candidate, a political party, or a candidate's withdrawal constitutes an offense. Sometimes, in the heat of politics, you go there and say, you know, the Honorable Kaluma is this and this and that, which is not correct, it's not factual. Or you go and say, actually, the Honorable Kaluma has withdrawn from the race, and yet he has not withdrawn from the race. That is a criminal offense now, when we pass this law, Honorable Speaker. So making any statements and, you know, the way people go and loosely talk about certain candidates, or you say this political party has this and this and this, and it is not factual, it is not correct, it is misinformation, becomes a criminal offense. So all those that are aspiring to be politicians and have always sailed on the boat of lies and boat of misinformation, Honorable Speaker, you'd rather anchor your boat now because you have no space to sail, because it becomes criminal to actually give false information about a candidate, about a political party, or a candidate's withdrawal. If you go there and say this candidate has withdrawn and he has not withdrawn, it constitutes an electoral offense, Honorable Speaker. Again, Honorable Speaker, it also goes ahead, Honorable Speaker. I'm losing my thoughts because I think I'm too excited about this law. Honorable Speaker, it also expands the scope of discriminatory language. You know, initially, in the initial law, the discrimination is alongside only two aspects, religion and gender. But now, in this new law, Honorable Speaker, we are adding sex and marital status. You cannot discriminate somebody based on sex on marital status, on religion, or on gender. You cannot. It's prohibited. You cannot discriminate anybody and make inflammatory remarks about a person's gender, a person's sex, a person's religion, and all that. Honorable Speaker, becomes electoral offenses, Honorable Speaker. My Speaker, the bill further introduces a new offense under Section 17 for willfully communicating electronically or otherwise. And I want those people that are happy to run to electronic media to hear this. It becomes an offense in the new Section 17 for willfully communicating electronically or otherwise with intent to induce or compel a person to refrain from becoming a candidate, withdraw their candidacy, prevent their nomination, or discourage voting for a candidate or their political party. Honorable Speaker, we have seen situations like this, that people publish false information about candidates online, that you see candidate so-and-so has withdrawn. So if that post is found that it is not correct, Honorable Speaker, it is punishable, it is offensive to do that, Honorable Speaker. Or to discourage, actually the other one is to discourage someone from voting for a candidate or a political party. You know, sometimes politicians get excited, they use people, goons and all that, and they prevent people from voting at polling station. Or you bar someone, or you block someone's car, or you don't allow somebody passage to go and vote, or cause chaos so that somebody does not vote, Honorable Speaker. That becomes punishable under the new Section 17. Honorable Speaker, the Elections Offences Amendment Bill number 2 is a critical component of the NATCO report, like I said, Honorable Speaker, the recommendations that come under NATCO. And Honorable Speaker, under these recommendations, the thematic area of electoral justice, and I think that is what, for a long time, the Honorable Raila Odinga has kept on saying, electoral justice. That somebody loses an election, not on the basis of votes cast, not on the basis of procedure, but on the basis of electoral injustices that are remitted to a candidate or at the polling station, or offenses that actually ensure somebody loses an election, not because people didn't vote for him, but just because of electoral malpractices, which actually constitute electoral injustice. Honorable Speaker, we must cure this. If you look at the Kriegler report, if you look at the reports that always come in after we have had a violent election, the word that runs through is electoral injustice. Honorable Speaker, as a country, we must anchor electoral justice for a country to have the correct leaders that have been elected on the basis of votes counted and votes cast, so that at the end. Sometimes shenanigans happen such that the person with the highest vote is declared not the winner, Honorable Speaker. That's electoral injustice. Honorable Speaker, this law, therefore, is put in place to ensure that we cure electoral injustices and bring electoral justice and related matters. It addresses the vulnerabilities in the Electoral Election Offences Act 2016 that undermine free and fair election, such as delay in results declaration. You know, I'm not a lawyer, but you are, my Speaker, that you say that justice delayed is justice denied. Yes, just like when you delay results, for the purposes of whatever purpose, you're actually denying the electorate the right for them to have a leader at the opportune time, Honorable Speaker. So we say in this law, in these amendments that we're moving today, Honorable Speaker, that we must have free and fair election, such that delays in results declaration becomes an electoral injustice when you delay the results declaration, which have historically eroded public trust. Immediately results start getting delayed. You know, you erode public trust, and emerging threats like the manipulation of election materials, coercive communication, including the digital platforms that we have. Honorable Speaker, as we move forward to 2027 as a country, we need to be very careful about digital communication. Because as it is right now, Honorable Speaker, with AI and all that, people can actually declare you president even when you have not even run for president. with AI. AI can do dangerous things, Honorable Speaker. And because of that, then we have to have the right law, the right regulations, the right statutes, Honorable, to protect and ensure that we have electoral integrity as we move forward, and that elections are actually protected from such malpractice. Honorable Speaker, these amendments align with the government's commitment to upholding the political rights guaranteed under Article 38, because that's what we're trying to do, Article 38, and ensuring procedural integrity in elections and Article 138 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, as I wind up in closing, my Speaker, the enactment of the Elections Offences Amendment number 2 Bill of 2024 will fortify, and I like the use of that word, Honorable, fortify. And that's what we need to do, to fortify the legal framework for conducting transparent, free, and fair elections in Kenya, in line with Article 38 and 138 of the Constitution, by addressing critical gaps in the Election Offence Act 2016. Honorable Speaker, this bill will deter electoral malpractices, promote accountability, and enhance public trust in the democratic process. I urge all honorable members, Honorable Speaker, to support the passage of this bill to safeguard Kenyans' electoral integrity. Honorable Speaker, I thank you. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Honorable Council.
Beg to move, and I ask.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move, Honorable Speaker, and I had already begged to move. I'm begging again and again to move and request the Honorable Senior Counsel Murungara to second. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Sir George Gitonga Murungara.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me, as I second the bill, to just make a few comments. First, I do commend the Deputy Leader of Majority. I think he has done justice to exactly what it is we are doing here this evening, and that we have to, even now, more than before, become extremely serious with electoral matters. No, very well. In fact, I don't know whether there is anything else that is as threatening to our peace like elections. So we must at all times ensure that the words used in the Constitution, elections must be free, fair, verifiable, and all that, carry that day every time we do an election, so that we can remain cohesive, we can remain united, and we are able to actually carry on with the discharge of our democratic rights without any hindrances. Honorable Speaker, what this bill seeks to do is to actually amend Section 6 of the main Act. Section 6 deals with offenses that can be committed by members and the staff of the Commission. As regards the rest of us, who are neither that, we have other sections right from Section 3 to 5, which deal with the offenses we can commit. But today, let's see what these members and staff of the Commission can do, which would constitute an offense under the main Act, which is the Election Offences Act, Chapter 66 of the Laws of Kenya. We have had these two introduced subsections in the paragraphs A, B, and C. Then A has subparagraphs H and HA, while C has a new paragraph N being introduced. This means that the offenses members of the Commission and members of staff of the Commission can commit are increased, trying to tighten up loops and openings which can be abused when we come to elections. We must commend the NADCO committee that came up with this bill, because it was after the tumultuous elections of 2022, whereby there were disputes as regards the veracity of those results, and all that went up to the Supreme Court, And even after the Supreme Court made a decision, there was a dispute. So the answer to it is always we look at the law, seal any loopholes that are there, seal any gaps that may be open so that nobody actually abuses an electoral process. The IEBC has just been constituted. The commissioners are in office. I'm told they are now doing an induction so that after that we can move on to very serious business, including looking and relooking at amendments that are necessary to our electoral laws. We need to delay this no more. The 2027 elections are just around the corner. And even if there are people going around the country beating drums, they are called war drums, trying to say this is going to happen, this is not going to happen. I think we have an electoral commission that is cut out for its work, and we want them to move in there, reassure Kenyans, give Kenyans confidence that the elections that are forthcoming will not only be free and fair, they will actually be credible, and everybody is going to agree with the results once they are introduced. What is the penalty? It's good also to let people know, Kenyans know, what would happen to any of these commissioners and members of staff who commit an offense. We have the general penalty clause at section 24. If any of these people, whether they are junior clerks, they are returning officers at the constituency, or returning officers at the county level, or even the national returning officer who is actually the chairperson or the chairman of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, commit an offense. You got a fine being the first option, not exceeding 1 million shillings, or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years. Let them be warned that this is not going to be easy, especially for youngsters who possibly will conduct these elections and who think can be manipulated so that they are able to do anything that is untoward to that election. So let us have the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission announcing those elections as per the Constitution within 7 days and as per the Elections Act as provided, so that we do not have to put the country in an anxious mood. And in fact, for the rest of us, Elections Act is very clear that once the results are tallied, they have to be declared. Even for the presidential election, we don't have to wait for 7 days. It's only that we have to do so within a period of 7 days. As soon as the tallying is over, the elections results are verified, an announcement ought to be made so that the country is not kept in anxiety. These laws and many other laws that are going to come to this house, immediately IBC comes into office, and we are, as Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, we are set to meet the commissioners as soon as we can to tell them to offload whatever is in that basket, whatever is their in tray, and especially as regards electoral laws, because there's a lot that was supposed to be done. Sorry, it has not been done. We're still waiting for by-elections to be done. They must be done. And we must also prepare ourselves. The roadmap, the road path to the 2027 general election. With those remarks, I urge the members to actually support the proposed amendments, and we pass this as the first of the laws under the new IBC, and also continue to look at what else IBC is going to bring to this house so that the 2027 elections are free, fair, credible, verifiable, and all the adjectives we can use to make them what Kenyans want. And also, as members of parliament, we must restrain ourselves even from our own political rallies and other avenues where we go to make pronouncements. We should not try to tarnish the name of the IEBC or try to bring disrepute to that commission, and also restrain from saying, making alarming statements like the elections will not be free and fair. Rest assured, we have full confidence in the new IBC, and we believe it is going to be done well. With those remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the Election Offences Amendment number 2 Bill, Senate Bill number 28 of 2024, be now read a second time. You want to contribute? Who wants to contribute? First, would I know who wants to contribute? Do we have any member who wants to contribute to this motion? The Speaker. As we consult, could the of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise on Standing Order 96. Mr. Speaker, this is an extremely important motion that should be discussed at length, in my view, with the full House, with the members fully informed, having read the report and everything. It is fundamental to what we are doing. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I would move that the discussion on this motion be adjourned.
Who is seconding your motion, the electoral motion? The Honorable Naisula Lesuda.
I second.
I've seen the mic somewhere to your right.
I second, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, order, honorable members. Honorable members, I now propose the question. The motion appearing under order number 10 be now adjourned. Is it the mood of the House that I put the question? Yes. Yes, honorable members, I put the question that the dilatory motion under order number 11 be now adjourned. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 12, motion, consideration of report on the examination of financial statements of selected state corporations.
The mover is the chairperson, Public Investments Committee on Commercial Affairs and Energy. The Honorable Owen Bayer.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. And I want to indulge you, Honorable Speaker, that, my Speaker, you allow us to stand down this for now, and it be called next when the chairperson is available, Honorable Speaker.
The motion under order number 12 is stepped down to a future date. Next order.
Order number 13, motion, consideration of second report on the status of implementation of the Constitution.
The mover. Yes, the Honorable Owen Bayer.
Honorable Speaker, noting that the mover or the chairperson is not in the House, Honorable Speaker, and this is an important report that we must debate, I request that this be deferred until next time when the chair is available for moving the same and debate. Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
The motion appearing under order number 13 is stepped down to the future date when it will be next scheduled for consideration by the House Business Committee. Honorable members, be upstanding. Honorable members, the time being 6:50 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Wednesday, the 23rd day of July 2025 at 9:30 a.m.